The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome in to Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. Johnny Hill producing as always. It's a Wednesday here, and we've got a whole lot of basketball action. The Tigers now know who they'll face tomorrow. They'll get Wichita State again, the third time they'll see Wichita State this season. But from 10:30 this morning to 10:30 tonight, we've got games starting. Those 10:30 games later tonight. Who knows what time they'll be done with? Who knows what time some of those games will start? Because some of those games are in a long line of conference games that started already. So could be some late nights for some of those tournaments. But certainly a fun day of basketball already, and it should get better.
It should get better, Brian. Good afternoon. We know at these tournaments, everybody's savvy enough by now to know that the only one that really goes off on time is the first game of the first session.
Yep, that's right.
And you've even seen first game of the night session get pushed back because of overtime in first game, late start in second game, and really past that window of when they like to clear out the arena or the building wherever you're playing. We've seen that occur, and you're right, those 10:30 tips tonight, we're not setting the nuclear clocks by that.
No. There's could be some really, really late starts. I know a couple games last night, didn't tip off till like 11, I think, and so some really late ones. I think that will continue tonight, tomorrow, but got all of the big conferences pretty much going. SEC will start later tonight with their 2 first-round games, so it really is starting to feel like the conference tournaments are heating up.
It is. American underway, and the first game, very impactful to the Memphis Tigers. As you said in the open, Tigers will face Wichita State for the third time this year, handled them easily in the game at Wichita and won here in Memphis. It wasn't as easy, but it was very close, but they got the win. I don't think it's hard to beat somebody 3 times.
No.
If you beat them the first 2, that means you're better.
Sure. Yeah, and so, Wichita State, like you said.
It's not baseball.
No.
Best of 7.
Right. But, you mentioned that first game against Wichita State when they came out, had the, 69-point second half and just looked unbelievable. But that second game was right there, kind of what snapped that 4-game losing streak, and was a game where Wichita State was in control most of the afternoon, led most of the way. Tigers able to come back late and get a very narrow win.
Tipping point to the season.
It really was. And so hopefully Tigers have a lot of energy tomorrow. Brad, we could go down the list of the games that were tipping points.
How many times we come in, really big, got to have
most of the conference
tipping point, fork in the road.
Too many.
Johnny, you know what I already have on my AAC bracket?
What'd you have, Brett?
A big red X by Rice.
We don't have
me too. Hey, me too.
I thought you picked Wichita State.
No, I didn't. I picked Rice.
I thought you picked Wichita as well, Johnny.
No, I did. I picked Rice. Wow. I wanted a rematch.
Oh, man, misery loves company. Come on over, Johnny. Come on over.
We're both on the same page.
Wow. Brian, already perfect bracket.
1-0. How about that? We're clean.
AAC bracket.
Love that. I don't know what's going on in the second game, but that could.
Wichita State Rice game was weird.
Bit. It was weird. It was very weird.
Yeah, because they started out hot.
Rice started out really hot. Then Wichita State comes back. It's kind of back and forth. Then Wichita State jumps out and gets a big lead. Then here comes Rice again, and they make it a really, really close competitive game. The final score was 88-81, but it was much closer than that. It was a 2-point or a 3-point game.
What was the point spread?
Point spread was a good question because I don't know. I think Wichita State was a slight favorite. Wichita 3.5-point favorite.
So they got there. I never saw it. We will at some point today, if we get a number posted, Johnny, we got to do Tiger Bankroll for tomorrow afternoon, or we'll have to do it off air before the game tips tomorrow. And we're always honest about our picks on that.
We are always honest.
Yes, we are.
An early one tomorrow.
We can't be this broke and dishonest, can we?
No.
We can't. We got to pick one of the other. That's a terrible combination.
The second AAC game, almost to halftime, about 3 minutes left in that. Temple all over UTSA. So that will be, if that holds, that will be my first X because I had UTSA.
Would be my second X.
You had UTSA as
I
well?
do.
Oh, wow. So I think, Johnny, you had Temple, didn't you?
No, I had UTSA.
Good
Oh,
Lord.
goodness.
Wow.
We're
Good
almost
blocking
dormy
there.
in
How about
AAC
that?
bracket,
How about that?
We need to concede and shake hands and give up the fight.
I mean, a little early.
Oh,
for
no,
that,
we
man.
might have to.
A little early. for
White
that.
flag out early at the AAC tournament.
Well,
John.
what might help y'all out is me having the Tigers out in the second after the second game, and y'all having them go all the way. So that could
Man.
ultimately help
I'm going to
y'all.
use that word again, Johnny, that we used a few weeks back. It's just disappointing.
It's very disappointing.
I'm not mad at you over it.
Oh, and me? I thought we were talking about the
No,
American.
no, it's you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He didn't know who we were talking about, Brett.
It's not anger.
Huh.
It's not
Wow.
contempt. It's not envy. It's just
Yeah.
disappointment.
Just
Interesting.
expected better.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's
Interesting.
that's what it is.
Wow.
Of course, Johnny and I, we rode the home team all the way out. If you're going to be homers,
Why
go all
not?
the way out.
I guess
Go
so.
big or go home, Brett.
right.
Big or go home. That's absolutely right. Some interesting games earlier today. Florida State, even though they trailed early, they were able to bounce back and get a 10-point win over Virginia Tech. So Virginia Tech, their season is done. Florida
It was
State,
just a flicker, but it's completely over now.
it's completely done.
FSU's got one path.
They've got one more game, I think, and that could probably be it.
That AAC bracket.
Oh man, it is
Again,
interesting.
It looks like the Homeland Security
Yes.
organizational chart.
Yes, no, I'm with you on that. BYU, big winners this morning, 87-73 over UCF. So, two teams in their first year of Big 12 play. And, Brett, we were talking about it off air.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but hey, man, I did have Temple winning.
Okay,
I did.
good.
I thought you did.
I looked at my bracket
I
like
thought you
because
did.
I had to think for a
So
second.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, I did have
That's
Temple winning.
That's
Good
good
deal.
for you. So, hopefully
So
you'll
here
be,
I am all by myself.
You'll be 1-1. Yeah,
0-2
0-2,
on
Brett.
Wednesday.
Not a great start.
Okay,
for
so
you.
I don't have a good handle on the AAC on Wednesday.
That's okay. That's okay. We won't dock you for it today. But we were talking before, Brett, because they were throwing up highlights of this BYU UCF game, and you mentioned it, and you're absolutely right. BYU
They're
either
Alabama.
wants they either want a
Layups or
layup or
threes.
they want a three, and from 1 to 5, they've got guys out there that can shoot the three ball.
They set screens, but they never do it for a 15-foot
Yep.
jump shot.
No. They're going for a three or a layup.
Free
every
throw
time.
line, extended jump shot. It's not in the playbook.
No, it is not. And so in a game, like today against
And
UCF, it really worked for them.
Alabama and BYU aren't alone. That's
Yeah.
the game
It sure
now.
is. It sure is. And you're seeing a lot of teams going. My big number actually today has to do with 3-point shooting, so get ready for that. But yeah, I mean,
I'm riding my NCAA tournament theme again today on appearances.
Well, this also rides the NCAA tournament.
Almost out of that.
Yeah, getting close. But BYU today took 30 3-pointers and made 14 of them, so about 47%.
You go to a lot of these teams' shot chart.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of the spray chart, and you see it. It's just under the bucket or out at the arc.
Yep. I mean, it's what they want, and
I mean, that baseline Bill Cook 15, 16-footer.
Yeah.
It's not in anybody's playbook.
No, and I can't remember. I heard
And that's
coach,
a hard shot.
It is, but I heard a coach.
The White Station High's Billy Cook made look easy.
How about that? I don't remember what coach it was a couple weeks ago, but I heard him in an interview talking about what type of shots he wants his players to get, and he said, I either want them to get high percentage shots in the paint, right around the basket,
Or ring the bell,
or I want them to take a three, because why are you going to settle for a mid range when you can just take one step back and get more points? And it seems like a lot of
18-footer.
Yeah.
Why do it?
Exactly, and so it seems like a lot of coaches are going more in that direction.
So the Tigers have to have a big book on Wichita State. It wasn't
Certainly.
any quick turn. It would have been the same for Rice, but certainly for Wichita State, having played them twice and knowing them pretty well. I hope I don't jinx anything. I don't think anything I say has one effect on the outcome tomorrow. When I've watched Wichita State this year, I thought it was one of the dumbest teams I've watched out there.
Well, yeah, they're just not very good. They're really not.
The handle's not great.
Yeah.
Their identity in the offensive end not great. I don't know how hard they play.
Yeah, well, that's a really good question. I mean, there have been times I've watched them this year, and I think you could question their effort and does everybody really want to be out
And then
there?
there's Temple with everything around them. So are they on the take or not?
I mean, that's a great question. I mean,
what are we doing at Temple?
I've been staying away from Temple, and that's one reason why I picked UTSA, because
I think
you've got
everybody
this black cloud
ran
around
from
them.
Temple and should.
I think so too. But big big game right now for them. Up 33-19. It doesn't look like they're throwing anything today.
And I was thinking around college basketball today and tomorrow, you could get some shaky efforts.
Yeah.
I thought Florida State was on shaky effort alert.
Certainly early,
And they weren't.
Yeah, and early.
One of their best of the year.
Yeah, I think it could have gone that way early. They were down kind of. It looked like it could get out of hand early, but then, here they come and really, bounced back and got a really, really nice victory. So, I mean, it's interesting, but I think you could see some of that. Speaking of effort and does a team really want to be out there, we haven't talked much about it, but Kansas, their decision to rest Kevin McCullough and Hunter Dickinson.
Load management
right
in the
conference tournament.
Or Big
game.
8 tournament.
That's
Big 12,
right.
whatever it is.
Bill Self announced it earlier this week during his coaches show.
I can't blame them.
And they got Cincinnati tonight, a Cincinnati team that, Brett, when we were talking to start the show yesterday, they were down by 10 points to West Virginia, able to come back and win that game. And right now, Cincinnati, a 2.5-point favorite over Kansas because of those two guys resting.
Cincinnati could play into some first four out, next four out bracketology conversation, but I don't think right now they're one of the main teams that the Tigers have to watch. Biggest thing for the Tigers is win.
Yeah.
But if you are rooting against and maybe just get to Sunday, kind of that path for the Tigers.
Yeah.
And we hope that the committee does all the work on
Sure.
Saturday and the results on Sunday doesn't make that much difference. You need to be pulling for Wake Forest to lose here in the ACC tournament.
Yeah, you're rooting for that. They're up second half, about 15 minutes left in that game, 46-39. So hoping for a comeback there. That would certainly help them. But you're right. For the Tigers, you've just got to win the game that's in front of you. And tomorrow against Wichita State, you mentioned it earlier. We talked about it a little bit. They've already beaten this team twice. One time they made it. The first time they made it look extremely easy. The second time they did not make it extremely easy. It was a tough fight, a game they had to come back and win. But I do think this team, talent-wise, is certainly better and certainly can win this game. It's just they're going to have to go out there and, like you said, we've been talking about these can't-lose games, must-win, turning-point games. We've also been talking about the fast starts pretty much every single game this year. They cannot come out slow, come out rusty against Wichita State because Wichita State, they've already had this one game. They're already ready to go. They already have that win under their belt. And so they're going to be feeling some sort of confidence going into tomorrow as well.
When the Tigers played Wichita State on January 14th in Wichita, a game that they won 112-86, in Tiger Bankroll, Bryant, you had the Tigers for $50.
All right. Let's go Tigers.
Good job, Brian.
That got you to $750 at that point in the year.
Yikes.
Johnny, you had Wichita State. You lost 40. It dropped you to $635.
Yeah.
I had Wichita State for 30. It dropped me to $1350.
Wow.
Brian is a big bragger.
Whoa.
Over that big January game.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the highlight of my year, honestly.
When they met at FedEx Forum, group lock, Wichita State, all of us.
Yeah. I remember being at that game and realizing we all had a group lock.
Catching the 10.5.
That's right. Well, that one covered, though, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It was a very close game.
65-63.
Cool.
Got me to $14.25 for the year.
Wow.
I mean, just horrible money management. Just horrible. Down to $575.
And
what a drop.
I get the blame for it. I mean, what's
You
up
do.
with that?
No, it wasn't really blame. It was just critical assessment.
Well, I heard.
Yeah, I
walk
like
in-
that, Brett. Critical assessment.
I walk in on Monday. I don't even have enough time to put my bag down.
Hey, how's the weekend?
Before Johnny's going, I blame you for all this. I mean, look how much money we have left because of you.
I did say
I
that.
didn't prejudice the jury, but we had already talked about where all the blame was on
Yeah,
me.
I expected as much. But no, it's going to be interesting tomorrow for the Tigers. I saw Penny Hardaway. They had the camera on him earlier today during that one. He was in the building getting some scouting in, eating some nachos, the classic concession nachos. One of us, Brett. I mean,
way to go,
Gotta
man.
love to see it. Also saw Dave Lotion.
We did see Dave.
We saw him down there in the background.
Dave goes to every game.
He was getting some scouting in for
He
tomorrow.
was.
I mean, it
Front
was,
row.
It was a good scene.
Dave goes to every session of
That's
every
great.
game as
That's
long as
awesome.
they're there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I
So-
do too. I want to see it all.
Why not? I mean, if you're there, you might as well go and see some basketball.
Only thing about a lot of those stadium nachos like that, well, I got a cutoff point for them. After about 6 o'clock, they all want to lodge right there at my larynx.
Yeah.
right at throat and breastbone. They want to stay right there at night.
Yeah, I had a buddy text me.
Hope Coach doesn't have that problem.
Oh, I hope so. I hope he don't.
I had a buddy text me this morning and goes, is Penny eating concession nachos on the AAC game right now? And
I'm surprised they didn't have a coach's hospitality room spread for him.
Hey, maybe they did, and maybe he said, I want the nachos.
He just want the nachos.
Stadium nachos, pulled out the debit card. What the hell?
I can't lie. I can't lie. I've been there before where I've been at FedEx Forum. They've got the media spread out there. Always good media spread. And then, I go up to my seat and that rendezvous concession's right around the corner. Booth. And I say, I'm going to go buy me some nachos.
Now, something else Rob Fisher and I have started noticing. In the Grizzlies media room, they have like names for the food. And one night it was like Mississippi pot roast.
Okay.
And Rob and I were like, is there really a difference between Mississippi pot roast and, say, Delaware pot roast? Is it that big a difference in pot roast?
Interesting. I've never noticed that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All the food's like unique to the area.
That's great. That's great. Okay. Love that. But no, I don't blame Penny for getting some stadium nachos. Good for him.
I feel good about that. I feel great about this tournament, so I feel good about tomorrow for sure, regardless of the opponent. And
sure.
And then we'll draw. I assume. No, I know UAB.
Yeah.
Definitely will.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about tomorrow. I feel good about what the Tigers can do tomorrow. Like you said, I've already seen this team twice. I've already beaten them twice. You've got kind of the whole book on them, but also that means Wichita State has the whole book on the Tigers. But I do think that's where talent steps in. Yeah. And I think the Tigers have
talent tops books.
There. Yeah, absolutely. And so it should be fun tomorrow. Early one, 1:30 tomorrow afternoon for that game. Probably start closer to 2 with a game before them at noon. Let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Vince Ferrara from WNML in Knoxville. He'll join us, talk about the Tennessee Volunteers in the SEC tournament.
Dreaming of the Final Four.
It's a big season for Tennessee. What they've already done and the expectations of what could happen over these next handful of weeks. Got to be a ton of excitement in Knoxville. So we'll catch up with Vince. Always a ton of fun catching up with Vince. We'll talk a lot of Vols. SEC tournament, as they're kicking that tournament off later tonight with Vanderbilt and Arkansas starting it off at 6 o'clock. 3:45, we'll talk some Grizzlies as they win again. Wow, burying the lead, Brett. I have to apologize. Another win for the Grizzlies last night. A home win this time, a little bit different from the last couple of wins.
Going for 2 in a row tonight.
For 2 in a row tonight against the Hornets. 4 o'clock, Jason Munns. He usually joins us on Fridays, but today he's going to join us ahead of the AAC tournament. Obviously, with where the Tigers are in the bracket, a lot of weird start times. So Jason, nice enough to join us today. Do a little bit of a preview of the AAC tournament. Obviously, the Commercial Appeal beat writer, as always, presented by Jim's Place Grill. 4:30, we'll talk some college basketball, bracketology, score updates with all of these games going on. And really, not saying anything bad about the games yesterday or the games Monday, but you're starting to see a lot of the bigger name teams.
More chips being moved to the in the middle of the table.
And Brett, more teams, especially as we go throughout today and tomorrow, more teams that the Tigers are going to have their eyes on in terms of kind of cars in front of them on that bubble. So we'll talk a lot of college basketball at 4:30. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Kevin Sweeney. He'll join us, talk college basketball. A lot to get to with him. It was announced earlier today, officially, Kenny Payne out at Louisville, and I already saw the odds are out for the next coach, and the lowest odds is Scott Drew at Baylor. Right behind him, Nate Oates. So it looks like they're going to make a massive offer.
They're elephant
both
hunting.
Those guys. They absolutely are. So we'll talk a lot of college basketball, a ton to get to with Kevin at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, probably more college basketball, score updates, that sort of thing at 5:30, and at 5:45. We'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Get over there for the factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and patio furniture. It's patio season. Come by Family Leisure and check out the new 2024 patio furniture sets. Pool season will be here before we know it, so buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Save $1,000 to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Also, special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seatings, pool tables, and outdoor kitchens. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
Produced by Johnny Hill, this is Sports Time. We're with you until 6 o'clock with Bryant and Brett. We want you to join us on the Sissy's Log Cabin text, phone, and guest line at 901-360-8255. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. The one and only Lexus dealership in town. You can call them at 901-334-9673, but stop by at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. You can drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, the Tigers, they know who they'll face in their first game of the AAC tournament. Wichita State gets the win today. It was a lot closer than I think they would have hoped for. Rice gets up big early. Here comes Wichita State. They lead very comfortably, but then Rice bounces right back. Rice scored 42 points, outscored Wichita State 42-36 in the second half, but it was not enough. Wichita State, it was really close. I think about a 3-point game with 20, 25 seconds left in that game, but they missed a three. Now they got to start playing the foul game against Wichita State, and Wichita State escapes with an 88-81 win. So Tigers will see a 14-18 team, a team that only won 5 games in the AAC. And who knows, this will all be about how the Tigers show up tomorrow. I don't think any of this comes down to Wichita State playing a great game or Wichita State laying a dud. This is all on the Tigers. Do they show up ready to play, ready to go against Wichita State, or do they show up saying, we can sleepwalk and get a win against this team? Don't you remember when we beat them in their arena by all those points? Remember when we had that 69-point second half? If they come out like that, then we might be sitting around our TVs at 2:30, 3 o'clock going, oh no, Tigers, come on, let's put it together. But if they come out and play like we saw them play for a long stretch in February, after that game against SMU, and really up until that last game, I still thought they played well in their last regular season game against FAU. If they play like that team, I think they cruise to a victory tomorrow down in Fort Worth.
My top story, the NCAA tournament announcer teams released today by all the broadcast networks that are carrying it. Ian Eagle, long ago, named to be in the Jim Nantz play-by-play chair. Since CBS took over the Final Four in 1982, there have been 3 people to call the Final Four and the final games for CBS: Gary Bender, Brent Musburger, and Jim Nantz. Ian Eagle will make it 4, but he'll make it 4 next year. I don't know that I knew that until today. Final Four and final game this year will be on TBS.
Oh, wow.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
Interesting.
Ernie Johnson in studio, not Greg Gumbel, who's recovering from some health issues.
Not top story of the day.
Yeah, I saw that about Gumbel. I hated seeing that, man. I love him when it comes to NCAA tournament. Well, my not top story of the day, Louisville, they've made it official. Kenny Payne is no longer the head coach for the Cardinals.
It was unceremonious, too.
It was really bad. That press conference he had last night, it was just really, really bad. For those who didn't see, he was asked kind of, what's your pitch to Louisville, to the fan base of why you should keep the job. I didn't love the question from the report. I didn't hate it, but he was kind of like, fans aren't coming to games. You're not winning games. You're not recruiting. What is your argument? And he basically said,
I don't really have one.
He said, well, people forget that when I first got the job, I said it would take 4 or 5 years. People forget that I said this and that, and it was just very weird, very awkward.
They went backwards.
It was really, really bad, and that's what his entire tenure has been. I mean, from the losing exhibition games to Division II schools to, not being able to find a win in AAC play. It's just been bad from start to finish. Now, we were wondering what the biggest job opening would be, and it's very clearly Louisville. I've been reading, some stories. I've been listening to people talk. It sounds like there's no issue with NIL or anything at Louisville, that they are ready and want to make basketball the marquee sport of Louisville, make it the marquee sport of the entire state. But that Kenny Payne just did not use it how he should have. And so it sounds like whoever gets this job, I mentioned it earlier, Scott Drew, Nate Oates are the two biggest names out there that they have interest in. It sounds like whoever gets that job, they're going to have a massive opportunity with enough resources to turn that program around. But it's not going to be easy because of what Kenny Payne left and what Kenny Payne has done these last 2 seasons.
My not top story, thank goodness for Joe Brackett's, Joe Lenardi. Boy, he's doing damage to the everyone hates the Tigers premise around here because he doesn't. He's fighting the good fight for the Tigers. Lenardi keeping a 69 net team, a team that lost at home to Rice, blew a 20-point home lead to USF, lost 7 games in the AAC, one quad 2 losses, a quad 4 loss. I mean, that's quite the flex for everybody hates the Tigers. He doesn't. He's hanging in there with the Tigers. Win tomorrow and Friday, that will hurt the net. But you know what a win tomorrow and Friday does that's most important?
What's that?
Moves you into Saturday.
That's right.
Moves you into the semifinals. And right now, to heck with the net.
Yeah. No, forget the net. Yeah, just worry about that next game in front of you. I also should mention on these odds to be Louisville's next basketball coach, mentioned Scott Drew, mentioned Nate Oates. Third on the list, Chris Beard down at Ole Miss, who just signed an
new contract
this morning with Ole Miss. So,
what does that mean? I think it means he's at Ole Miss.
I think it does too. But who knows? And then rounding out kind of that top 4, Mick Cronin and Jerome Tang to round out the top 5. So certainly
no Eric Musselman.
Let's see where it is. A long list of names. Eric Musselman. He's way down the list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
That many people is not saying no to U of L.
No, not at all. Well, that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the SEC tournament. We're going to talk about the Tennessee Volunteers with Vince Ferrara.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
A new era in public safety begins with you. Be the change you want to see. Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo on Saturday, March 30th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We will take applications, perform basic testing, and interview candidates on site. Salary starts at $54,611, increasing to $72,000 after 3 years. Free parking will be located at Poplar Avenue and Front Street. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Napa Cafe celebrates 26 years in 2024. Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet peculiar peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finished with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes, or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails, like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us as we celebrate 26 years of Napa Cafe. We can't wait to serve you.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, Well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Spring is in the air, and so are the savings at Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Hi, this is Lauren Choate. As we welcome clearer skies and brighter days, it's the perfect time to clear up something else, your home's air quality. Right now, for a limited time only, get a free dryer vent cleaning with every air duct cleaning service. Did you know that cleaning your air ducts can not only improve your home's air quality, but also increase your HVAC system's efficiency? Well, it's not just about efficiency. It's about safety and reducing the risk of dryer fires significantly. With Choate's expert technicians, you can rest assured that your air ducts and dryer vent will be cleaned thoroughly, leaving your home safer in your air pressure. All it takes to breathe easier and save? Just one call to Choate's. But hurry, this offer won't last forever. Schedule your air duct cleaning service today. Give us a call at 347-8086 or visit us online, choateshvac.com. Choates, let our family serve your family.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. They're doing some road work out here up and down sections of 240. Earlier, they were over there around Airways and Lamar. They had traffic a little bit slow. We're keeping an eye on it and let you know where they're working at on and off today. Out here on 240, it looked like it was still a bit heavy at times on 240 over around 385. It's still taking some getting used to with a bridge being closed there on 55 that caused a lot of problems yesterday afternoon up and down 240 in Midtown. We're hoping today's going to be a little bit better. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. We're trying to get a hold of Vince Ferrara to talk some Vols SEC tournament. But those games get kicked off tonight. First round, only a pair of games in the SEC, but it starts at 6 o'clock tonight with Vanderbilt and Arkansas. Vanderbilt beat Arkansas on their home court, but I'll be honest, Brett, I feel like all in all, Arkansas has been playing a tad better lately towards the end of the season.
Played well late in that game.
Played very well late.
Too little too late.
Too little too late. So I feel like they can bounce back and get a win here tonight against Vanderbilt. I feel like Vanderbilt, they've really struggled all season long. And then that second game should be a very interesting one. And I really like... Missouri trying to get their first win, maybe Georgia. I really like how they've been playing all season long. It really hasn't turned into a lot of wins as they sit at 16 and 15. Certainly not a ton in conference play. But I do like what Georgia has done this year, and I think it's a building block for the future for them.
0-18 for Mizzou after winning a game in the tournament last year under a first-year head coach to have this kind of year. It can happen like that for you. This morning, I heard Greg and Eli interviewing and had on as a guest Dane Bradshaw, and either Greg or Eli one asked Dane Bradshaw with Eric Musselman kind of the news out there that maybe not full free agent, but he's listening. Yeah, I don't think that's a secret to anyone. No. And what's the better job, Louisville or Arkansas historically? And Dane Bradshaw said that's tough. That's hard. I think it's Louisville.
I do too, but I think it's tough.
3 beats 1.
Yeah.
Now, 2 of the 3 are a long time ago with Denny Crum. But did it with Rick Pitino, did it under 2 head coaches, 3 titles, 2 head coaches. Sure. And they're in the ACC and that basketball mad Commonwealth. Yeah. That state, their thing, first and foremost, horses and hoops.
Sure. Well, and I think you get it kind of from both angles. You get it from the state, but also I think you get it from the conference. I mean, you look around in the ACC.
It's basketball.
Duke's a basketball
first.
school. North Carolina's a basketball school. Syracuse's a basketball school. I mean, you've got a lot of schools that are very proud of their basketball programs. And so, yeah, I think it would be a better one. But certainly Arkansas's up there. I mean, it has such a rich history. But I would probably give the edge to Louisville. And that's why, that will now block out the sun this offseason of what does Louisville do. And not only what does Louisville do, but what does that coach do in his first year after what Kenny Payne has done these last 2 seasons?
But I do think after back-to-back Elite Eights and a Sweet 16 that it hit Eric Musselman hard that some of the criticism, some of the empty seats, and some of the lack of passion. But I think he's got to understand, look, you got to keep feeding the monster, as Nolan said.
Yeah.
And you go to 2 Elite Eights and a Sweet 16, and the season's effectively over 10th of January, 20th of January, especially after the night I saw him in Oxford. That was it.
Yeah.
Get beat by 26 at Ole Miss, the season was over.
Well, and it's similar to what we've been talking about here in Memphis, but on kind of a bigger scale because of the success in the postseason Arkansas has had these past couple of years of you make it to the Elite Eight, you go on these deep March runs, and then you turn around and, I mean, the excitement's through the roof. The expectation of what he can do at this program is through the roof, and now your season's over really before it even starts. And, yeah, I mean, it's very easy for fans when they have those expectations to very quickly be upset when you don't meet those or even get close to those expectations. I don't think anybody saw what this year became for Arkansas.
And that's not
early in the
unique to
season.
Arkansas. That's everyone.
That's everywhere.
Everybody would be irritated after being spoiled a little bit, but I think he also saw in the 3 previous years just that passion that can be stirred there with some winning. But between Nolan and Eric Musselman, there had not been anything to be real excited about.
No, not at all. And so I think that's when you talk about and you ask people what's the better job, Arkansas or Louisville, and they say it's close. I think that's, you think about that rich history there from way back when. And I think when you have that fan base that, grew up on that and kind of lived that and had been kind of seeking.
And thought they were back.
They were seeking getting back to there. Now you get Eric Musselman in. He goes on these runs very early in his career there, and you expect, okay, this is going to be normal. We're back. This is what Arkansas basketball is going to become. And now you look up and you're playing on night 1 in the SEC tournament. I mean, that's a tough pill to swallow for anybody.
Yeah, and that very inglorious night to be playing.
Yeah, no, it's really bad. I mean, when you talk about those teams there, and I mean, we could have the same exact discussion about Missouri. I mean, Missouri, they go to the tournament last year in the first season, and oh man, look, the future is so bright. And now you turn around and you have not even won a single game in conference play. You've got Vanderbilt there tonight that has really struggled, especially in conference, for a couple of years now, for a while now. So, you don't want to play on that first night. And when you're a team like Arkansas that started the season in the top 15, it's really tough way to end the season.
The agent world and the coaching profession would never allow this, and it's not going to happen. But I wish in standard contracts, as I say about in the SEC football, if you've been at a place 2 full years, so the first year you go 2-6 in the league, second year you go 1-7 in the league. If in that third year you go over, you're fired immediately, no payout.
I like that.
Just standard in the contract.
I like that too.
If you're in SEC basketball, if you play on first night in Nashville 2 years in a row after you've been there 2 years,
right.
You got to
sure.
So that wouldn't apply to Dennis Gates, even though kind of did it in reverse.
Yeah.
But you've been there 2 years, and you go back to back in third and fourth year, just turn into security.
Yeah.
I like it.
That'd be interesting. I would like that.
Don't ask why all the passcodes got changed.
No, absolutely not. Just know that you don't have them.
You don't have it no more.
And keep on moving. No, I mean, it's tough playing on the first night, especially in some of these bigger conference tournaments when you only have 2 games on that first day. I mean, very easy to keep yourself out of that. But at the same time, when you look around And certainly a different story for a Missouri team that couldn't even win one game in conference. But when you look around in these tournaments, in these conferences like the Big 12, like the SEC, those are tough conferences, and they're hard for a reason. And so sometimes it's just not your year, and you end up on that.
We're very sorry for Tennessee fans. We're waiting to hear from Vince Farrar, always Mr. Reliable. I guarantee you, it's got to be some issue with connectivity. I bet he's at Bridgestone. It's got to be something there. Yeah. We'll try to catch up with him again maybe next week after we see exactly where Tennessee falls. I have Tennessee winning that tournament, and that would get them a 1 seed.
Yeah, I think absolutely would. No doubt about it. I still think if they get to the conference championship, and even if they lose that game, I still think unless you have North Carolina go out and make it look extremely easy and win the conference by a mile, I think Arizona would have to go out and win the conference championship by double digits. I think Tennessee should feel very good about getting that number 1 seed. Certainly, with the top or second seed. Definitely love your chances going into the NCAA tournament. I think when we talk about second round Rick or the lack of success that Tennessee has had over these last couple of years in the tournament, this year feels very different, and I think there's a lot of excitement to go around.
I agree, but we've been here before with Tennessee basketball.
Good point.
Not just under Rick Barnes.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to believe that Ray Mears and some of the the coaches from yesteryear, Don DeVoe, didn't get there. Yeah. Bruce Pearl did get to an Elite Eight and did a really good job there, but they're ready for more, and they should expect it. I think some of the Tennessee men's basketball program expectations through the years have also been very much jaundiced by the success of the women's program. And what Pat Summitt did, she made it look easy.
Made it look very easy.
And it's not that easy. Johnny, if that's Vince, let's take this break now, and we'll have Vince after the break.
So let's get to a quick break so that you can answer that. When we come back, hopefully we'll be talking Vol basketball with Vince Farrar.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop, here on Sports 56, Real Sports Talk.
At LL Flooring, we've been a trusted partner to pros for over 30 years. With over 400 nationwide warehouses full of in-stock, job-ready inventory, you'll get what you need. And our exclusive pro pricing means that pros never pay retail. Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. So we're going to do it right. Sign up for a free pro account today to start getting pro benefits. LL Flooring, every step covered.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get preseason pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure studios. And joining us now on the Sissy's Log Cabin phone line, Vince Ferrara from WNML in Knoxville joins us now to talk the Volunteers. Vince, thanks so much for joining us. What is the excitement level like around Knoxville this week, going into Nashville as the number one seed and playing very realistically for a number one seed in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, no doubt. Great to be on with you guys. Appreciate you as always. I would say it's mixed. It's positive. There's definitely excitement, but there is a segment of the fan base that is still a little nervous about the postseason and the lack of big-time success, having never been to a Final Four in its program, and then Rick Barnes not having the tournament success that fans expect with some of the teams they've had, and then also just his overall history with Texas as well. The more positive fans look at this team and say, hey, we've got one of the best players in college basketball, a dynamic generational scorer on the college level. So, yeah, maybe they've underachieved in the past, but those have been teams with limitations on offense or don't have the diversity that this team has shown at times. This team also is different in that they have a low post scorer and a much improved Jonas Adu as a big, and they're willing and able to get out in transition and play fast, which past Tennessee teams have been the slowest paced teams among those in the country. So they're a lot different team than they've been in the past. So I think fans look at that and say, all right, yes, tournament history, but it's going to be different this year because of number 3 and because they're just overall different and more diverse than they've been in the past. And then there's some that, kind of have enjoyed this season, but maybe, are just kind of still have a little bit of trepidation. So just depends on which Vol fan it is. And I don't think, even though it's in state and fans are going to root for them, I don't think it's about the SEC tournament. In fact, I know there's some fans we've heard from that wouldn't be heartbroken if they, maybe win a game and then don't go all the way to Sunday and stockpile 3 consecutive games going into the NCAA tournament, because next week it starts what really matters to them, kind of like what Calipari thinks with Kentucky.
And it does. And Vince, you very well just described a lot of the conversation for a lot of the 90s around UT football and Philip Fulmer. Until he finally did it, everybody was kind of scared of the trap door of something happening and them not winning it all.
For sure. And because Tennessee fans have felt like they've set themselves up for disappointment, there some just as an overall athletics, hey, this is just setting me up for being disappointed and let down, and some specifically with Tennessee and Rick Barnes' record in the NCAA tournament as well. So it's a little bit of all those. Just kind of depends on how far back those fans go in their demographics. But some have not even enjoyed this season. Like, they haven't even allowed themselves to to buy into it. I'm not saying that's a majority of the fan base, or I don't want to paint the picture that it's entire fans, because it's not. The people you talk to, that we talk to on a daily basis outside of being on the radio or social media and all them, the ones you talk to in everyday life, those fans are positive generally and do understand the past, but also think that are thinking positively and think that this group, it can be different, and a lot of it will come down to matchups as well once we see what the bracket looks like.
What do you think the percentage of fans kind of have this now or never mentality? We know with an early exit for sure, that's going to be 100%. If we didn't do it now, when are we ever going to do it? But what do you think it is going into the tournament?
I don't understand that mindset, that mentality ever, especially in a such fast-moving transitional world of sport.
I agree.
Especially on the college level. Like,
because, Vince, how many people said that if we didn't win it with Peyton, when are we ever winning it? Won it the next year.
So, and they haven't won it this year, but how many people thought it was going to be the same old Tennessee basketball every year? We took a bunch of those calls. How every year, Rick Barnes, he's too focused on defense. He never plays offense. Like, who knew Dalton Connect was going to be this kind of player?
Who knew Dalton Connect?
Nobody.
I didn't know how to pronounce his name opening night.
Exactly. So to make a blanket statement like that on now or never, who knows? Yeah. Who knows who else they're going to be able to bring in or what's going to change? Rick Barnes probably has not gotten the credit for adapting what he does, in one, bringing in a player like that, and two, utilizing him, three, scrapping their motion offense sometimes for the DK3, let me just bail the team out type of offense. Now that gets to another point from a basketball standpoint, is how much is too much in terms of those other guys standing around and watching them and having everything on his shoulders. There's some opinions like that. I know Seth Davis from CBS before the Tennessee-Kentucky game kind of trotted it out there. He said he talked to some SEC coaches that said, hey, Tennessee is a little bit of fool's gold because they felt like Tennessee was too reliant on Dalton Connect. There have been stretches where he has saved the day and taken over, and they've scrapped what is typically their motion offense. But there's also been times where he hasn't been their top scorer or a big-time scorer, and everyone else is playing well, and they look as good as anybody in the country. So I think it just depends on what day you look at them and you know how far back you want to look at them. But it's worked both ways. Sometimes it's been an issue, sometimes it's not. But I don't buy into, hey, now or never, and we got to do it now, because you just don't know what your roster is going to look like in the future.
Well, obviously, Dalton Connect has been kind of the story not only for Tennessee, not only in the SEC, but one of the stories of the year in college basketball. But over these next couple of weeks, whether it be in Nashville or in the NCAA tournament, who needs to step up in addition to Dalton Connect for this Tennessee team for them to have success?
Yeah, it's not a single answer. I think because if it's consistency, they need Adu and Ziegler to be consistent. Yeah. Because those guys would give them a big three. Now you have an elite point guard who is just named the SEC Defensive Player of the Year for the third time. That's only happened 4 times in the league's history, to have a guy be that good defensively. So that's one. And so you have an elite point guard, and then AP first team All SEC, second team by the league coaches in a big in Jonas Adu. He's so much better than he's big. And when they go inside and he gets established early and he's a threat, and they can play inside and out. They can use him with Connect on the pick and roll to where he's a threat to roll off and get to the rim. They creates easy baskets, and then Connect doesn't have to do everything. That big three will be tough to handle, and when they're playing their best, that's as good a trio on one college basketball team as there is in the country. So those guys need to be top-notch. But I don't think it can just be them, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. They've got to get more offensive contribution from Josiah Jordan-James and Santiago Vescovi. Vescovi has really struggled with his offensive production. Yeah. Rick Barnes is on him constantly for passing up open shots, which coaches these days will tell you, Nate Oates, Rick Barnes, that when you pass those up and then you end up taking a tougher shot, it leads to transition baskets the other way, and it's like a turnover when you don't take those shots. He honestly has not looked himself in terms of his consistency of his shot for a good part of this year. I don't know the reason for that. At first, it was that transition and adjustment to having Connect be the guy and him not being a more relied upon scorer, not playing the point, all those kind of things. But when he's at least driving to the basket and taking his open shots, playing within the offense and off of Connect, and playing with conviction, he can give them double-digit scoring. They don't need him to be their leading scorer, and neither James, because James gives you he's a glue guy, gives you a lot of defense, a lot of other things. But they need a little bit more from those guys, and they need consistency from Adu and Ziegler. That's the recipe for them to get to the Final Four. If it's one or the other or two of the four, I think then they are susceptible to being upset shorter than that if it's sort of just a mixed bag and a whole bunch of Connect.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a fun couple of weeks for Tennessee, see what they can do in Nashville, and then on to the NCAA tournament. Vince, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and let's do this again soon.
Man, I appreciate it. Yeah, spring practice starts Monday morning. We're calling a bunch of Tennessee baseball games on the Vol Network. Got postseason for basketball.
Man, busy
There's a couple things going on right now on Rocky Top.
That's what you were born to do, Vince. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Vince.
All right, thanks, guys.
You got it.
Vince Ferrara from WNML in Knoxville. Join us to talk some balls.
And under that whole, if not now, never. We're never. I've heard that so much. I mentioned, Tennessee didn't win it with Peyton Manning. Yeah. Won it the first year without him with T. Martin. Mm-hmm. Back in '92, Penny Hardaway and the Tigers put it on a great Arkansas team in the second game. Tigers advanced Sweet 16, beat Georgia Tech, and then ran into Nick Van Exel in Cincinnati again. And that was the end of Ty Day, Lee Mayberry, Oliver Miller, and everybody in Arkansas thought, man, you don't win it with those guys as seniors that had been to a Final Four, never winning it. Won it 2 years later with a whole new group.
How about that? So, hey, it can certainly happen, but I do think it's going to be a fun couple weeks. And Vince is right. I mean, you add what Tennessee is doing on the court and what the next couple of weeks could be like for them. Throw on top of that spring practice starting for football. Tennessee, the baseball team is rolling right now on Rocky Top. So a very eventful time of year in Knoxville, that's for sure. Well, we need to go ahead and wrap up our first hour. And when we come back, we're talking Tiger basketball with Jason Munns.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your buddy Johnny Radio. I'm here with Mark, the owner of Dyer's, out in Collierville's historic town square, where they've been cooking up them burgers since 1912, the old-fashioned way. Mark, what's going on in life? I see you got your 4 kids with you. What do they love about Dyer's?
Man, they love everything about Dyer's. They love all the great food that we serve, and they really like eating our good food and watching some of their favorite sports.
Braden, what do you like at Dyer's?
I like a bacon burger with fries, a milkshake, and with a Tigers game in the background.
Carter, who's your favorite football team?
The Carolina Panthers, and just with some macaroni with that sounds amazing.
My man Beckham, what's your favorite food over at Dyer's?
We like the double cheeseburgers.
Kinley, what is your favorite dish over at Dyer's?
Daddy's cheeseburgers and the Dallas Cowboys game in the background.
Just remember, everybody, bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team out and eat at our place.
So head on over to Dyer's in Collierville's historic town square.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, there's something that binds us all. The collective goal to transcend the ordinary. Introducing the all-new Vokey SM10 wedges. Made for lower flight, improved feel, and maximum spin. Unlock your ultimate wedge. Play with the new Vokey SM10 wedges. Visit us in store at Edwin Watts Golf Shops or online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Building out of Midtown right now, 240 southbound. As you come past South Parkway, it's picking up even more in the last few minutes on 240, hopping on to 385 Bill Morris Parkway, headed out towards Collierville. And yes, they continue to work 55 on the bridge. Sometimes that can cause some confusion, especially in the afternoons like this, up and down 240 north and southbound around South Parkway. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
We normally talk to Jason Munns every Friday at 5 o'clock, presented by Jim's Place Grill, but we're going to catch up with him today before the Tigers get going down in Fort Worth. Jason Munns with us all season long, presented by Jim's Place Grill. Over 100 years of charcoal grill steaks, over 100 years of family time, celebrations, lasting memories, holiday season, Easter coming up. It's perfect at Jim's Place Grill. The Terrace family with their touch for our community with recipes that date back to the beginning in downtown to now in Collierville at the railroad tracks at Poplar and Houston Levee. Online at jimsplacegrill.com. Don't forget the E in grill. Every steak grilled perfectly over an open flame. Come to Jim's Place and taste and see and feel the difference. Lunch hours Monday through Friday, 11 a to 2 p.m. Dinner hours Monday through Saturday, 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. All the games locked on to all this basketball. Since 1921, a Memphis landmark, hard work, values, and a dedication to their beloved diners. The Terrace family, they've created a memorable dining experience. The lunch menu, the staples like the souffle ma, crab cakes, the shrimp cocktail, and those salad dressings, all homemade. And at dinner, the soups, the seafood, the calamari, and the steaks that they're famous for. Fillets, ribeyes, and strips. Fantastic bar area. All at Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. Jason Munns joins us now from deep in the heart of Texas. We know the opponent now, Jason.
We do. Wichita State pulled it out. They were trailing by as many as 13 points early on against the Rice Owls, and then at halftime they were up 13. So, yeah, they were. They got it together. Colby Rogers scored 22 points, and the Shockers are moving on, and they get Memphis now.
Yeah, and obviously Tigers have seen Wichita State twice this season already in two very different games. First game in Wichita, close first half, but then in the second half, Tigers just out of this world shooting the ball, end up putting like 68, 69 points up in the second half to win extremely comfortably. That second game was kind of the game that snapped that four-game losing streak, but trailed most of the game, didn't look great, but able to come away at the end and win that. What do you expect to see tomorrow in round 3 against Wichita State?
Man, I don't know.
It's kind of how the season's gone.
Wrong answer for radio, Jason. Wrong answer. We got to be experts.
I know, but I got to be honest too. Like they asked me to. My bosses asked me to do like some bold predictions going into the AAC tournament. And it's like, what kind of fool's errand is this now? Like, I mean, like anybody who's trying to predict the Tigers this season.
That's right.
Is bound to end up looking foolish, and that's exactly how I feel trying to figure out, what's going to happen.
What's the genesis of that? What's the common denominator in that this late in the year we seemingly have no handle on them?
I just think it's it's the nature of this team. It's the fabric. It's part of the fabric of what this team is at this stage.
Well, that wouldn't change after 62 games then. We're at 31 now.
Yeah. Now, I will say that was like this is post Caleb Mills. When Caleb Mills was, I think we can all agree.
We were talking that in the break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I think we can all agree at this stage of the game that when they were much more, you at least had a better grasp of what to expect from this team when Caleb Mills was healthy. And ever since then, it has turned into just a complete and total roll of the dice, shot in the dark. You just never know what you're going to get, even half to half. You don't know what you're going to get. It was, 10 days ago or so that Memphis was down 22 with a minute and 20 left at home against UAB, only to storm back and win by 19. You just don't know what you're going to get ever. Yeah. It feels like with this Tigers team, and now, one of the sort of underlying currents, one of the undercurrents here about this Wichita State matchup is the other two times that Memphis has played, saw the Shockers this year. Malcolm Dandridge was on the floor. And he will. I mean, I guess it could change. So anything could happen tomorrow morning. It is still a weekday tomorrow, so I guess that I'm not going to say that he definitely won't play. Although I think we kind of can comfortably assume that. But and so if he doesn't. You can almost, I don't know if you can completely throw the first two games out the window, but he played like 24 minutes in one game, 23 in the other. In the big win, he had 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks. And in the close win, he had 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks. They're not going to have that this time around. Now, the flip side of that is Naquan Tomlin has emerged. In those 2 games against Wichita State, he wasn't all that much of a factor. I mean, he played well and got his points and stuff, but he wasn't like a dominant 20-something point guy like he is now. So it's going to be interesting.
So, and that means we got some text messages yesterday about if Malcolm Dandridge traveled with the team. That does, I guess, mean he is down there with the team for the conference tournament, in case something does happen and he's able to play.
He is. I reported that an hour or so ago in my scouting report preview of this game. Malcolm did make the trip, and we talked to Penny on Monday night after his radio show, and he said he hopes, he said he hopes he gets Malcolm back for the tournament, but he doesn't know. And he freely admits that. He says he's waiting just like everybody else. That's been his line since Malcolm got taken off the floor, and he's sticking to it. And I don't think that, because he didn't go to East Carolina and he didn't go to whatever the other most recent
FAU.
FAU, yeah, he didn't go to FAU either. But he is in Fort Worth, and so we'll see.
The Monday Night Radio Show made the news. Look, we're in the business. We want to deliver for sponsors, and Brookhaven Circle is not one of our sponsors, but they get the Monday Night Pub with the Penny Hardaway Show, so I guess that's some value there for those nice people, and they got it Monday night with the comments of great job, and the image, the profile of the program is way up and great were 3 words used by Coach Penny Hardaway. I don't want to dissect all that Monday night. Just tell me, do you think his comportment, his tone for this year's tournament is as good or better than last year's when they did win the conference tournament?
Well, I have to go back and listen and look. It's been so long that I don't really I feel like.
Do you feel like it's a go for it tournament?
I feel, what I'll say is it seems like his comments Monday night. He's an emotional guy. He's a competitive guy. Penny is, and when he feels like people are questioning his ability to get the job done as the head coach of the University of Memphis, it rubs him the wrong way, and he felt the need to speak out on it. And I hope that it doesn't. I hope for his sake that it doesn't, and Memphis' sake, that being on his mind doesn't distract him from what needs to be done in Fort Worth to make this a successful season. We can talk about getting to the top 10, and we can talk about beating some of these top 25 teams that they did this year and in the non-conference and all that stuff and everything. But the bottom line is, if you miss the NCAA tournament, especially being ranked so highly and playing so well so deep into the season, that if you don't make the NCAA tournament, it's going to be. I don't think you can consider this a successful season.
You just can't.
If you don't make
compounded
the NCAA
by
tournament.
this conference without Houston.
Yeah. I mean, you got all these newcomers, and you're getting beat by Rice at home.
I mean, today really illustrated it, Jason. Rice finished last and was a day one exit team, and the Tigers lost to them. That game stays with the Tigers. I said the next day, not the worst loss in Tiger basketball history, but the worst home conference loss in Tiger basketball history, and it is.
And you would know, you of all out of anybody would know, and I think you're right. I happen to think you're absolutely right. When this season is over, if Memphis misses the NCAA tournament, you're going to turn around and you're going to point to that game first.
That's it.
As being the primary reason why. I think there are other reasons. The South Florida loss at home. Despite South Florida getting into the top 25, you still, like everybody knows, that they're not a top 25 team. Despite them winning the league, they're not a top 25 team based on all their metrics and all that stuff. But no, you point to the Rice game first, and so. But going back to my original point is like I just hope for everybody's sake that Penny, his thoughts and feelings and all that about what's being said about him. You hope it's not a distraction, because if they don't win the conference tournament, if they don't win 4 games in 4 straight days starting tomorrow, I think you've got like probably a 1/10% chance of an at-large bid at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely looks like that. Were you surprised co-players of the year in the American and neither of them named David Jones? I know that got a lot of attention on social media yesterday when it was announced, but did that surprise you?
Yes, it did. I would, like, honestly, if you want to name John L. Davis the player of the year, I'm not going to argue with that.
Sure.
FAU finished second in the league. He shot, almost 50% from 3 for the season. He was one of the top scorers. He was the best player on one of the best teams. All those things were working in his favor. The one that is really a head scratcher is Chris Youngblood from South Florida. And this is no knock on him by any stretch of the imagination. It's really more of a knock on the votership, which is the league's head coaches. There were enough people who voted for those two guys to essentially, they're tied as the best player in the league. And I get that South Florida won the league and everything, and he's the best player on that team. He is not probably even one of the 3 or 4 best players in this league, based on what he did on the court this season. David Jones is like 6th in the country. Never mind number 1 in the league in points per game. He's like 6th in the country in points per game. He's way up there in rebounding in the league rankings. He turns the ball over a lot. He does lead the league in turnovers per game at 3 turnovers per game. I get that, but it's confusing. And I know that there's been this argument that because Memphis finished 5th, the best player in the league cannot be on the 5th best team in the league. And I submit that Precious Achiuwa won it when Memphis finished 6th.
Yep.
Yeah, he sure did
a few years ago. So
that's a sports toughie, though, because the comeback is for last place, like Andre Dawson winning the MVP with the Cubs, and they came in last. I can come in last without you.
Yes, I agree. I mean, there are I get what Shohei Ohtani. Did he not win an MVP when the Angels were
He did.
Missing the playoffs?
Yeah.
I think
They got a bunch of guys that won MVPs when they missed play with Trout.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And Ohtani.
Come on, get your immaculate grid out, Jason.
I know. I you know what? I haven't played a single one since the season started.
Nah, I don't blame you.
No time for that.
No, you can't use up wattage on that right now.
That's for the golf tournament in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But no, I think David Jones. If you don't want to give it to him, I don't have an issue with that. I think the interesting thing is him not even being like the second highest or tied for the first highest. It's a little bit strange.
It is. Jason, take us. We know inside the life of a sports writer, you sign up for a lot of things. You sign up for editors and bosses telling you want 5 big takes or some surprising predictions. You want stuff like that. People used to call that sidebars, things like that. And of course, game story and post game. A lot of weekends, a lot of night work, a lot of things like that. Sometimes you have to sleep on the floor in an airport in Orlando. But tell us how you pack for this weekend, because it's the very real opportunity, very real chance that Sunday the Tigers are in the NCAA tournament. I think is the AQ is the best path. then could be playing in Dayton on Tuesday, at the latest Wednesday, and Jason Munz has got to get from Fort Worth to Dayton.
Well, so I got a one-way flight out to Fort Worth or to DFW tomorrow morning, 5:40 flight tomorrow morning. I packed as if I'm going to be there until Monday. But yeah, it's a one-way. I got a one-way ticket, and I rented a car. I'm going to rent a car when I get there and play it by ear. Like that is, that's the way it is. And if I do have to keep the car and drive to Dayton, I will. That's on the table. I can return the car, and if they play Wednesday, I can fly home and make a quick turnaround. Or whatever, but yeah, there's a lot of variables here. I remember, was it 2 years ago? There was a little bit of a, well, at the very least, for my purposes, for planning purposes, there was I couldn't discount the possibility that Memphis was going to be in Dayton that year, 2 years ago. So I kind of got a little bit of practice at coming up with these contingencies and what have you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. If it comes to that, a lot of hotels nowadays have washing machines, or I'll just go to a laundromat. And,
old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Take the quarters with you.
Yeah, exactly.
It takes more than quarters now. I know that. Jason, what's the university, the basketball programs? Do they have an official stance on the NIT?
I do not believe. So every time I ask, the response that I am met with is essentially, it's not word for word, but it's we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Sure.
It's we're not even thinking about that right now. We will think about that if we have to. Now, if you're asking for my personal opinion, I find it difficult to believe that Memphis would accept an NIT invitation.
I do too, and I don't think it's any we're too good for that. It's just we're playing for something different than that, and that no longer is within the realm of accomplishment, and our season is over.
Yes, that's kind of how I think that the attitude would be. Now, again, I could be wrong. Penny could rally the troops and get everybody fired up for the NIT, but that just doesn't sound. All these guys, all these newcomers that came in here, they didn't come here to go to the NIT, and that would be just my read of the situation.
It's not Memphis; it's the NIT.
Yes, exactly. So I don't know. I mean. Who knows what's going to happen? But I think it's a stretch to think that they would accept an NIT bid.
Yeah. Well, Jason, enjoy Fort Worth. Hopefully, it is a long visit to Fort Worth for you. Hopefully, you'll be hanging around until Sunday watching the Tigers in a championship game. But as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next week.
And if I'm not there that long, then maybe I can make it back to see the Rock tomorrow or Friday night.
Ooh, there you go.
Ooh, hopefully not, though.
Yeah.
See what he has cooked.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you, Jason.
We'll see how it
Be
goes.
safe.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Jason Munz from the Commercial Appeal, the Tiger basketball beat writer. He joins us every single week to talk Tigers. And Brett, I saw what was on your phone, unfortunately.
Oh, you did?
Before you pulled it up, and I don't know if I want to know what you're about to say. Please, go ahead.
I am at the Barking Crow.
Yes, you are.
The home of NIT.
I did not mean to look at your phone, but I saw the logo and knew exactly what it was, and I could not help.
There's nothing on my phone I don't mind showing or sharing with everybody else. I don't have anything like that there. So here we go. Last updated 3/13. That's today.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
There's a
Very
St. John's region. The Tigers aren't in it. There's a Wake Forest region, and that's the one the Tigers in, and they would play the 4, so that means they would be the 5.
Okay. Does it say who they have in this projection playing? In the
LSU.
Oh, wow.
Winner gets the winner of Wake Forest, Appalachian State.
All right. How about that?
So that would be the Memphis Tigers playing at Pete Maravich Assembly Center at Baton Rouge next week.
Wow. Oof. Yikes. Yeah.
Ole Miss in the New Mexico region as the 4 seed hosting Kansas State. I don't think Chris Beard's real hot to trot on NIT bid.
I don't think so either.
And they're sure not too good for the NIT. He just doesn't want to do it.
Right.
It's not anybody's goal.
No, absolutely not.
And if it is, check it at the door.
Well, yeah, then, need to kind of reevaluate things if the goal is the NIT. But I don't know. Hopefully this week goes well for the Tigers. We don't have to have the conversation on if they accept, if they don't accept.
I'm stunned. As much as we joke about it, even having to reference Barking Crow.
Well, Brett, I mean, we made a promise after last season that we would never go back to the Barking Crow. And if we
broke the promise,
if we were even needing to go back there, we wouldn't. But look at us now. I mean, you can't take our word for nothing.
And I said it because I thought the Tigers would be too good for that.
Yeah.
Now, they're just conceptually, they're not too good not to go to NIT.
True.
It just wasn't the goal. It's no longer
That's
the
nobody's
goal.
goal.
It's not being haughty. It's not looking down at anything. The Memphis Tigers out there in college basketball, the NIT in the late 50s, when it was at least as, if not more prominent than the NCAA tournament, it put Tiger basketball on the map.
Yeah.
But that was 1957.
Yeah. I mean, it is different.
Have higher
time.
expectations right now.
And you could see it even in Coach Hardaway. What was that? Was his third year? Yeah.
When they won it?
Yeah. Spring 19, COVID, 30 or 21. Okay, then. That was stretching credulity then.
Sure was. Yeah. I mean, it's different. And, I mean, this was a Tiger team that preseason was projected to be a 5 or 6 seed in the NCAA tournament.
Years ago, I'm going to say around maybe Larry Finch's first year as Tiger basketball coach, 86, 87, somewhere in there, spring of that year.
Okay. George
and Dave, only show in town at REC, and they're bouncing around NIT. And George was doing really one of his famous polls of call and just tell the call screener your vote, yes or no, on NIT. NIT. And I called in and said no.
Huh.
And so they tabulated it, and George signed off, and he said, we've got like 19 yeses and 1 no fun person votes no. And I was the no vote.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So nothing changed for Brett Norsworthy.
I didn't think it was many people's goal then.
Yeah. And certainly not anymore.
And sure not after, Keith Lee and Doom Haynes and William Bedford and Bobby Parks and Andre Turner and those John Wilfong and those hosses in that era of Tiger basketball.
No, not at all. And so it's certainly not the goal.
So I was too haughty for it then.
That's hilarious.
He did. He said it was like 17, 18 vote yes, and 1 Flat Earth Society guy votes no.
That's great. That's great. Well, I'm glad to see not much has changed. Well, we need to get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk some more college basketball, maybe look at a couple bracketologies, and give some score updates on the games going on right now. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Don't let the name Sunrise fool you. Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar don't just make one fantastic breakfast. They're also the best choice for a fast, fresh lunch made just for you. Chain restaurants are focused on getting you in and out as quickly as possible. Sunrise wants to make sure that after you've enjoyed your lunch, you'll be happy that the crew at Sunrise genuinely cares about you. Not in a weird way. They care that your burger or BLT or Dirty Bird are exactly the lunch you were craving. We've said it a million times. Don't settle when there are 2 locations of Sunrise just a short drive away.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their valuable tools, but to protect their professional reputations. For pros, the WeatherGuard badge makes a statement about what drives them. It says, "Bring it on. Been there. Done that. We've got your back," without saying a word. And the folks at WeatherGuard, they're just as driven as the hardworking pros they serve. See what it means to be driven at weatherguard.com.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A new era in public safety begins with you. Be the change you want to see. Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo on Saturday, March 30th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We will take applications, perform basic testing, and interview candidates on site. Salary starts at $54,611, increasing to $72,000 after 3 years. Free parking will be located at Poplar Avenue and Front Street. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. As it continues to build on 240 southbound over here at Union all the way down past South Parkway, just trying to get out of the Midtown area in general. 40 westbound across the bridge, head back over into West Memphis. That looks pretty good right now. We're keeping an eye on it not only there, but also on 240 east from Mill Branch all the way out to 385. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure studios. And we've talked a lot of college hoops today, but how could you not with the day of action we've got rolling right now in the American. Close one, Temple and UTSA. Temple up by 3, 64-61. About 24 seconds
I question
left
everything
in this
they
game.
do.
Who, UTSA?
Temple.
Oh, Temple, yes. No. Honestly, I mean, we were
I
talking
might not
earlier.
be alone.
We were talking earlier. This was a runaway game, Brett. It was starting to look like a blowout, and now here we are, a 3-point game.
And isn't that terrible that will be out there now?
Yes. I mean.
And part of that is this wave of legal sports wagering.
When I saw
everything's kind of, and that's not fair.
No.
But it's like PEDs in baseball. Everybody was suspect.
Sure. When I saw somebody tweeted out or posted somewhere that some sports books would not even post Temple lines after that kind of story came out a couple weeks ago. And so I think it was 1 or 2 games left on the season that they did not post a line for Temple because of the suspicion that there could be foul play going on. So, yeah, it's certainly going to stick with them, and it's unfortunate, but, you know, it's kind of where we are, like you said, with how close these sports books are with sports now. It's made it very weird.
It has. Would you give Malcolm Dandridge, what percentage would you give of him playing? I'll be stunned. I don't know what the percentage is, but stunned would be where I started.
I mean, I guess you have to give some sort of percentage.
Or why'd they take him?
Possible. But I would put it at like 15%, maybe 5%. Like, I do not see a way. If he's already hasn't
what
been
about
cleared.
Conditioning? I wonder if he's
that's
been.
Another good point. I'm sure he's been maybe playing or maybe like participating in practice. But I would not see that. I would not see that I would not see that they have him on the, if
Johnny,
they have him
mic's
on the
open.
trip.
Your mic's open, Johnny.
But I wouldn't see if they have him. There's got to be a chance. But if we've gotten this far into the season after he hasn't played for X amount of games, 3 or 4 games, I don't know what would change in these next couple of days.
Yeah, I don't either. And really, I think it's probably a diversion tactic by the Tigers, maybe to give people stuff to work on. But I don't know if people would bite on that.
I think it's more Penny Hardaway saying, I've got this guy. If he gets eligible, I'll play him. But I don't even know if Penny Hardaway has much hope that he's going to play any of these games.
So the Southland Conference Tournament Final is going on
right now. McNeese and Nichols, right?
How'd I miss that all day?
Yeah, it's a weird time to start it. I wonder if...
That's Will Wade.
Yeah, it is. Let's see. What are the games tonight? That just seems like a very weird 4:00 start.
Will Wade on the dais next week at NC tournament site.
How about that?
With his student athletes.
That's right. With his student athletes.
Please direct your questions to the student athletes.
NC State and Syracuse on ESPN2 tonight. Kansas City. I don't know. I mean, I feel like you could have. I don't know. Syracuse and NC State, we couldn't have put that on ACC Network and played the Southland Championship at 6:00 tonight. Why do we have to have it go off at 4? I mean, I just think that's a weird time to have a championship game.
And I saw another conference last night playing their final in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
So you could have been going to those games running up to that and then ACC.
How about that? Wow.
I'd never even heard of the arena that they were playing in.
Interesting. Yeah, no, there's some interesting arenas that they play these championship games. I mean, Dickey's Arena where they're holding the American. You don't hear that one for anything.
What's it do by day?
I know they hold a lot of concerts there. There's actually a professional indoor lacrosse team that plays there. I found that out a couple of I guess a year ago. But yeah, I think they just hold a bunch of concerts there. I think it's just more venue, maybe do like some high school basketball tournaments there maybe. But yeah, nothing much goes there. We do have a final now in the American. Temple has won that game 64-61. They actually turned the ball over. UTSA had a last-second 3-point opportunity to win that game. Good defense from Temple, and they're able to win. So Temple lives another day. They will see SMU tomorrow.
I'm going to run out of ink on day 1 with all the red X's.
Yeah.
That's 2 already.
So Johnny gets a win for that
Johnny
one.
I
bounced back.
Both of us get a loss, so that's unfortunate.
Good win. In D.C. last night, the CAA final between Stony Brook and Charleston at the Entertainment and Sports Arena.
How about that? What goes on at the entertainment and
what do they
sports
do by
arena?
day?
That's interesting. So I mean, it can get, especially these smaller conferences that do not play at sites or at campuses, get a little tricky. But Brett, here's your favorite thing: Big Ten action starts tonight. I believe both games. I think only 2 games tonight in the Big Ten. Both of them on Peacock.
Not my favorite thing. Not even close.
Not at all. A little sarcasm there. So Peacock, I wonder, let's see, tomorrow we're using, now that's the thing I question. Big Ten, their women's tournament's done. Why are we doing these games on Peacock when you've got the Big Ten Network?
To drive you to it. Got to have more.
Peacock. It's just like exactly right. With the playoff thing with the Kansas City Chiefs, they try and drive everybody to it.
True, but
and you're going to have it in college, college playoff come December.
I didn't expect it. Like you said, though, Brett, like they're forcing you to get it at this point. You have to.
Yeah, but I still see NFL playoff game and first round of Big Ten action. A little different there.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised these games
I see what you're saying.
Are on the Peacock.
And that will drive it. If it gets nothing,
at
some point they'll go, we can't try this anymore.
Well, and that's why
hope.
I think
but if they get a lot, then we can do it more.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great point. That's
why I think you wait till maybe tomorrow when you can put Ohio State, Iowa on Peacock at 5:30 instead of having. I mean, how many people that are not Michigan or Penn State fans are going to be driven to Peacock tonight to watch that game? Nobody. There's nobody seeking out Big Ten action that much to go to Peacock.
Like for me, that's the one. I'm signing up.
Exactly. Oh,
That's
you
it.
had me at Michigan. I mean, the year they've had.
I didn't when they do it Thanksgiving on the game or sometime in the fall. This is the
Right.
one.
Well, heck, a couple weeks ago we had Purdue and Illinois on Peacock.
That's true.
Forget
That's true.
that game.
That's true.
Get me Rutgers and Maryland on night one of the Big Ten tournament.
But
give me a break.
The 4 campus college football games this December, coming up this season, one of those will be stream.
Sure. Yeah, I think you're right, and it looks like we're getting closer and closer to that. We've already seen it with a lot of the professional sports going there. You know, NFL obviously does a lot with that. Major League Baseball does a lot of streaming nowadays.
I signed up, or I kept it alive for MLB, the League Pass.
Yeah. I mean, good
extra
reason
innings.
To. Yeah,
What do they call it?
Extra innings.
$26 a month.
Changed it to MLB TV. Whatever. It used to be extra innings for sure, though. I love the MLB package that they have.
But I don't.
great.
I get it at home, but I don't know how to get it on my phone.
I'm sure I could set it up on your phone.
You could.
I'm sure.
You have those talents and skills.
I'm sure.
And you know I don't.
I would need a little information from you, but I'm sure it would not.
No,
take
I don't have any
long.
login or any of that.
Well, that could be a problem. I'm sure you have. I'm sure there's some way you have a login that you just don't know about.
I'm trying to think where on the channels. I think it starts at like channel 720 on direct.
Interesting. Huh.
That's where I go and fly through it, and I get my money's worth.
Absolutely.
Especially like Friday night through a weekend.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I love. That's really the one.
But I get the Cardinals through Bally's Midwest.
Sure. Well, that's gonna be coming to an end probably soon. But hey, you know.
How will it end in season?
No, it will end after the season. It sounds like starting next year, that's going to be probably. It sounds what it's going is Amazon Prime. But
I'll have to.
They might keep it on local channels, so maybe. But that they got, they.
Will I need a new TV?
Nah, the TV ain't the problem.
Brett, honestly, we might be getting close to. You might need a new TV. It might just be easier all around.
I couldn't tell you what I bought it.
What type of TV you got, Brett?
It's big.
Brett, I got good news for you. TVs are cheap right now.
I know.
Hey, they actually are, Brett. That's a good point.
They're very cheap.
I got a friend of mine in the TV business.
Wow, so even better.
He'd come set me up.
Even
he did
better.
last time. I told him, I said, I don't know how to hook up any of these cords.
I love it, Brett. I love it.
As I think more and more about it, that might be the easiest thing to do is get a new TV eventually. I hate to say that. We set you up with
they're
like a
going to
Roku.
win. They're going to win. They will get me over, right?
I think eventually. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if they wrap their hands around the Cardinals and the Grizzlies, then I mean, you're toast.
And college football.
But yeah, I think it'd be quicker. Would
Speaking
be
of
probably
college
Cowboys.
football, did you notice this today? So I go to, got the ESPN app.
Sure.
And I hit it by accident. I didn't even know I did. I hit NCAA football.
Sure, probably trying to hit NCAA basketball. They're right there next to each other.
It's got all the games up for next year.
You're kidding. Brad, I can't look that early. Way too early.
Saturday,
Way
August
too early.
24th, 4 games. I think we need at least 4 more on that day.
I think you're right. Week 0, I always say more games. I'm always in favor of more
one thing
games.
it did not do. So week by week, when you go to SEC, it has Texas and OU. Like opening week, it has OU hosting Temple, and Texas hosting Colorado State. Go to standings.
Oh no.
Still divisions, no Texas and OU, because until July 1, it's not official.
Absolutely. Wow. How about that? So a lot of changes to the ESPN app when
the schedule's official though.
So that's nice. Because I guess schedules they just get it and post it, but much different when it comes to standings. That all will change, I guess, a little bit later. But no, I'm excited. But with these, I guess the last run of the Pac-12 tournament we're seeing in college basketball, and
this is it for Pac-12.
This is it for Pac-12.
Historic Pac-12.
Absolutely. I mean, it's weird, and of course,
the home of Wooden and UCLA.
But of course, they go out swinging. I would think nothing less of Pac-12. Go out putting all of their games on Pac-12 Network today and tomorrow.
For all 7 people that get it.
Yeah. So good for them.
7.
USC gets the win earlier today against Washington. John loved USC earlier today.
John Harden loved
I tried
USC.
to advise him maybe go with a different game because we cannot watch that game. And he said, no. We're going with USC.
His quote
today.
was, "We can make money on games we don't watch."
That's very true, and he was right about it. So good for John. But 4 games today in the Pac-12, one of the busier conferences for their first day, throwing out 4 games. Oregon State, UCLA about to get started.
First game of the day, I had to reacquaint myself with USA Network.
Oh, yeah.
With the A10
Absolutely.
tournament.
Welcome to the A10.
I'm scrambling around trying to find, I think
Looking
like 248, something like that.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
On
USA.
the DirecTV machine.
How about that? You can keep it there. You can watch Premier League soccer on Saturday morning.
I can't wait. You know I will.
They got the marquee
Kick
game
it.
every weekend.
Every game ends 1-0. I know what happens.
You're not wrong about that.
And then they burn the stadium down.
They sure do. Some places you're absolutely right. So it's going to be.
I kid soccer fans. I kid. I want Memphis 901 to do well.
I do too.
Go support it.
Yeah.
I want them to do well.
I do too. So yeah, we only got a couple games going on right now. That conference championship game you mentioned in the Southland Conference, McNeese up big, 36-22. Only 3
Will
other
Wade's the
games
answer
going
to
on
every
there.
coaching vacancy, isn't he?
Always. I mean, any job that comes open from already to whenever he takes a new job, Will Wade's going to be the first name thrown out there.
I guess people have had amnesia.
I guess so. And
fine.
Well, heck, Brett. I mean, nowadays, what he was really busted for. It's legal now. I mean, go out and do it. So
doing business.
Yeah, and he was doing a good job at it. That's why he got busted. So
And he wasn't alone then.
No, he absolutely wasn't. So it looks like McNeese will get a victory here today, and they'll go to the NCAA tournament. I'm sure a lot of people will pick them as a team that could go out and win a game or two in the NCAA tournament. A fun team to watch this year in the Southland Conference. But we need to get to a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, serving the official barbecue of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. Five Ash Roofing, the name to know. Five Ash Roofing, the only way to go. Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Five Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. Five Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on Sports 56. Real sports talk.
It's time to discover your new Kia at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And there's never been a better time to drive off in your new Kia. Make it happen today in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG, $219 a month. How about sporty 2024 Kia Sportage LX? We Gossett $289 a month. Both $34.99 to its signing. And get rugged in 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $429 a month. $39.99 to its signing, all 36-month lease. So call Bobby J to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, $39.85, MSRP $22,320. Sportage R7, $24,7640, MSRP $29,635. Telluride RG $49,9963, MSRP $41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Best finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
All right, Brett, I love my big number today. This is great. Unbelievable big number today, I think, personally. And that's not trying to sway anybody at all. That is just saying
think it is, though,
I love this
Little passive
number.
aggressive.
So last night, Oakland,
The Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies.
Golden Grizzlies.
They punched their ticket to March Madness, winning their conference championship. And one of their older guys on the team, a grad student, Jack Golke, who's averaging about 12.5 points per game and shooting about 37% from three. He's an interesting fella. So here is my big number. My big number today, 234. 234.
That's
Johnny.
a big number.
Big number. That is how many field goal attempts Jack Golke has attempted this season for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. Johnny, how many of those are three-point attempts? He's a 37% free three-point shooter. How many of those are three-point attempts? How many are two-point attempts? Go.
Oh, my goodness.
It's like an LSAT question.
I know. I don't know.
2 buses leave at the same time. One gets stopped in traffic.
Probably
180.
180.
You think 183s?
Yeah.
6 2-pointers.
6?
6. He has taken 228
That's back to the bucket, isn't it?
three-point attempts.
Are you serious?
Uh-huh. He's only taken 6 two-point attempts.
6 2-point field goals.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Like
All
mid-range, like not mid-range, but just like anything?
Anything outside of 3. I mean, it could be anything. This guy has taken 234 field goal attempts. 228 of them have been from deep. I mean, that is incredible. And he's still shooting 37% from 3.
Boy, he's putting it up.
Sure is.
Do y'all know what I have in my hand right now? Tell our listeners.
A red Sharpie.
A red
John.
Sharpie.
You know what that is a sign of?
John,
Defeat.
Yeah.
When you have the red Sharpie out twice on day one of the AAC tournament.
Well, hopefully you can put it out. What do you use for correct? Do you have a green?
Yellow highlighter
okay,
for
yellow
correct.
highlighter. Well, maybe you can pull the
Just
yellow
like football
highlighter out later tonight.
Old Rob
for
Fisher
SEC.
trick he taught me.
I love it. I love it.
I
Always
love
keep a
it,
red
Brent.
highlighter with you. It's beautiful.
I'm due to get hot at the AAC.
Due to get hot, or maybe find a streak at the SEC. I don't know.
You gonna get hot in this.
I hope so. I hope I get hot. My big number
Something's
is
gotta
12. That's the number of Auburn NCAA tournament appearances all time. He'll be 13 on Sunday. They're getting in. There's no doubt about that. 2 Elite Eights all time, 5 Sweet 16s, and in 2019 they got to the Promised Land and got a horrible call in the Virginia game. I don't know if they'd have won it on Monday night against Texas Tech and Chris Beard, but they might have. Eight out of 14 teams right now that compose the SEC have been to a Final Four. Here are the 6 that haven't: Tennessee, Missouri, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, and Alabama. They're the 6 to never go. Wouldn't you say the order of expectation would be Tennessee 1, Bama 2, Missouri 3?
Yeah.
Missouri's never been to one anywhere.
Wow.
Big SEC, Big 12, nothing.
Yeah.
And they very much at one time thought of themselves as basketball first school.
Sure.
With Norm.
Sure. And, wow.
Vandy historically has been basketball first. I would say in order, Ole Miss would be 6th.
Yeah. Right around
Been to a
there,
Sweet
yeah.
16.
Sure. Absolutely. But yeah, no, I think, I like Auburn this weekend, and, I have them winning my SEC tournament. So, but we talked earlier with Vince Ferrara, and it's kind of that question, especially with a team like Tennessee, team like Kentucky, teams that Kansas is already telling you we don't care about the conference tournament.
Party starts Sunday.
We are so focused on the NCAA tournament. I'm just curious, do we see some of that in Nashville this week with the SEC tournament? We very well could.
And I know they're not going to because of the SEC fan experience. All the pomp and ceremony that they have.
Sure.
They're even, they're going to add 2 more games next year how many more games will you need with 2 more in? A game and maybe
game.
And some anyway. They're going to have everybody at the site next year. I think a lot of these leagues would be well served. Make it to where your better teams are there at the end and reward them for what they did in the regular season.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. It's interesting.
The Kentucky fans are going to see Kentucky.
They are. They're not going to see Georgia tonight or Florida tomorrow. They are going to see Big Blue, and so it's going to be interesting. Certainly to see what do the crowds look like tonight, what do the crowds look like tomorrow, and then what do the crowds look like when Tennessee and Kentucky are playing.
And Dave mentioned this morning when I joined him on his show, when Arkansas first joined the SEC in '92. They took over Birmingham. And it really got Kentucky's attention. In '93, the tournament was at Rupp Arena. And when Arkansas still took a great crowd. '94 came here to the Pyramid. '95, Georgia Dome. '96, New Orleans. '97 back here. And it was red clad.
Yeah.
And, tonight with this kind of season, it won't be much.
No, I doubt many Arkansas fans are heading up to Nashville to go see.
Well, but Nashville has become the melting pot of alumni groups.
It sure has.
I mean, there's I don't know if there's a big Texas A&M contingent.
Probably not.
But there's a lot of everybody else.
Sure, absolutely. So hopefully I'm sure there are going to be good crowds all week at the SEC tournament. But I am curious to see what those crowds look like tonight for those first 2 games. Well, we need to wrap up our second hour and get to a break. When we come back, we're talking more college hoops with Kevin Sweeney.
I am such a failure.
You're going to have to narrow that one down a bit.
As the spokesperson for Central Barbecue, I have failed to tell everyone about the new location in South Haven.
Technically, I'm the spokesperson for Central Barbecue.
Well, I haven't told anyone, but there's a new location in South Haven that's super convenient for the people living there. And I haven't told them that location is where all the Central Barbecue catering for North Mississippi comes from.
If we could get back to the Central Barbecue spokesperson thing, see, you have to do this because you work here.
Now, I have no clue how I'm going to face the people of South Haven. I have besmirched the name Central Barbecue spokesperson.
Besmirched?
It's time to triple your savings with Gossett's Jeep Celebration Event and Ram Truck Month and Dodge Power Shot Days all at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. How about new 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4? We Gossett $5,052 off MSRP. That's Jeep Renegade Latitude $24,988. How about new 2023 Jeep Cherokee Altitude 4x4? We Gossett $33,230. That's $8,000 off MSRP. And Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike has 2023 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon 4x4, $14,000 off MSRP. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett on the Pike or shop online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
Renegade Triple P 56029, MSRP 30,040, Altitude PD 10 3653, MSRP 41,230, Gladiator PL 570 369, MSRP 64,925, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
You know our trusted partner TireRack.com for their fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, convenient installation options, and their great selection of best tires, like the highly consumer-rated Continental Extreme Contact DWS 06 Plus. But did you know they sell other automotive products? Wheels, brakes, suspensions, just to name a few. Go to TireRack.com/Colin. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Napa Cafe celebrates 26 years in 2024. Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet peculiar peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finish with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes, or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails, like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us as we celebrate 26 years of Napa Cafe. We can't wait to serve you.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy you happiness, but money did help you buy an RV, which means an excuse from working Saturday with your insufferable coworker, Dave. So money is helping you listen to birds chirp instead of Dave chirping about how his toddler is fluent in 3 languages. And it's also why you'll be smelling pine trees in the air, not Dave's tuna melt reheating in a microwave. So save money by bundling your RV or boat insurance with home or auto from Progressive and buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Grind don't stop. Join Jaron and Gigi and your Memphis Grizzlies tonight at 7 p.m. when they face off against the Charlotte Hornets for Hoops for St. Jude night. Get loud, show your grit, and get ready for an epic matchup by securing your tickets today at Grizzlies.com.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Despite a couple of EMS calls out here in the last 15-20 minutes, it's moving out here right now on 240. That's what we're looking at live over here at Perkins. Watching it build over here on this side of town. On 240 getting onto Bill Morris Parkway going outbound. It's picked up even more. I-40 at Warford and Hollywood. It's still closed. Of course, the bridge here on 55. That's going to take some getting used to over the next couple of weeks. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And joining us now on our Sissy's Log Cabin phone line, Kevin Sweeney joins us, talk some college basketball. Go give him a follow on Twitter at CBB.
Just nothing going on to talk to Kevin about.
No, it's been extremely dead in the world of college basketball, especially this week. Well, Kevin, conference tournament week, it's beautiful, games on all day, a ton to talk about, but I do want to start with the Tigers. They start their conference tournament tomorrow. They need to win 4 games in 4 days to win the American and get that automatic qualifier for the NCAA tournament. How tough will this be over these next couple of days for the Tigers?
I mean, look, it's not an easy road, especially given the fact that their depth has really been non-existent the last couple of weeks. So, putting that type of strain on your legs over 4 days is a big challenge. Obviously, this is a talented Memphis team. There are enough big time players on the roster to will them to a conference tournament championship. But it's not going to be easy. And I think, look, the American, for its flaws, has a lot of decent teams, right? I think the knock on it is that it doesn't have enough really good teams. But there's enough teams that can beat you every night. And obviously, Memphis has felt that more than anyone. But, there's no gimmies in this conference tournament. I think that's the thing that would scare me if I'm a Memphis fan.
All year, Kevin, Brian has said how competitive it is, and I think it is that, and that makes for, it could make for a good tournament this weekend. But in Memphis, we're hoping for 4 straight, just like they did last year. At least Memphis doesn't have to go through Houston this year.
Right. There's no one team that you're like petrified of playing, right? I mean, look, FAU I thought played very well last weekend in that game in Boca, but it certainly wasn't a situation where Memphis couldn't have beaten FAU. I think they've proven that they can, and so I don't think there's anyone that you feel like you can't beat. But obviously we'll see what happens. To actually achieve it and win 4 in 4 days is much harder than any one individual match.
Absolutely. Well, the news became official earlier today. Louisville has parted ways with Kenny Payne after just a dreadful 2 years at Louisville. What's next for them? Who do you expect them to contact? Who are the names on your list to be the next coach at Louisville?
Yeah, I think everyone expects them to make a run at Scott Drew from Baylor. I find it unlikely that he would take it. Right? I think the one thing that does loom over things is the NIL situation. It seems like Louisville is doing well in that department. If there's a big name coach like Scott Drew that is worried about their NIL, well, I don't know if Scott is, but if there's someone like that, maybe that prompts them to make a move that you might not have expected a couple of years ago. After that, I think there's a few kind of sitting high major names that could be in the mix. Lamont Paris at South Carolina, Chris Collins at Northwestern, Jamie Dixon at TCU. Those are your solid names. Or maybe some, swings at Mick Cronin, swing at Nate Oates, swing at Bruce Pearl. And then I think the March up-and-comer, if you will. There will be a mid-major coach or two that has a deep run, whether it's, Josh Schertz or Nico Medved or Pat Kelsey at Charleston. There's a few different candidates for that. But, if they can break through and make a push in the big dance, make a Sweet 16, all of a sudden you're this year's Dusty May. And I think that would be appealing for Louisville.
Kevin, there was a time in my radio life on any coaching opening that I thought everyone should aim high. And my premise was the very worst thing they can do is tell you no. Well, I had an athletics director correct me on that through the years and tell me, let me tell you, when you start just flailing around out there and they tell you no, they run the cost up so high on whoever you end up being stuck with.
Yes, I think that's true. I also think, look, there's a lot to be said, especially nowadays, with the optics, right? It is, everything is so public right now, and, part of that's these anonymous coaching carousel accounts. Some of it's real, some of it's not, but, you don't want to be perceived as running a disorganized search. So if you keep getting turned down by everybody, it doesn't look very good on you, the athletic director, or your university. So it's a fine line, right? I think the thing for Louisville is they have been prepared to do this search. Theoretically, they should be in a position where they've already cast the wide net and now can kind of zero in on targets. But, it does feel as though there's no true one right answer at the moment for them, and they haven't moved that far in deciding who the next head coach will be.
Kevin, that's a really sharp take because right now, because of social media and so many things out there, we think we know everybody's business out there. We think that everybody's got a handle on every college opening. Do you know who Trilly Donovan is? Because, man, whoever it is, he's good.
Yeah.
I do not know who Trilly is. Trilly and I do correspond via Twitter DM. So I guess I would have a relationship.
That's
with
elite
him
class there. That's good.
But look, it's a wild thing. I think there's a lot of impersonators, if you will. Not everyone trying to be like Trilly. Not everyone is as good as he is. And look, I think it's challenging because there's a lot of information that gets out there that maybe shouldn't or isn't fully true or is weighed down through the grapevine. But at the same time, I think it makes it a lot of fun for fans. So there's been a unique addition to the college hoops landscape.
Whoever it is, they're plugged in. And with that name, any shot for Louisville at Billy Donovan?
I think every time there's a big job, people look up at Billy like, why not? Let's give this a shot. Right?
And it would roast Kentucky.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be a huge deal. Look, Billy Donovan didn't like recruiting 10 years ago. I don't know how he's going to like recruiting now, but it's a lot worse. Now, you could argue that, now it's more transactional and he wouldn't have to do as much of the work. He could hire a staff that would do that for him. But I just don't think someone who's been living the NBA life this long wants to come back and deal with the rigors of being a college head coach. I could be proven wrong on that front. But, look, I think it's more just a name that you gauge interest of, and nothing goes beyond that.
For years, people speculated on who was the famous figure around Watergate Deep Throat. And some thought it may have been a composite. Some thought Woodward and Bernstein were just guessing right. And then they named, former FBI agent Mark Felt as Deep Throat. One of these days, I want Trilly Donovan named. I want he or she. It could be a she. I want him outed.
I think there's a mystique that comes with not knowing who it is, right? Because, quite frankly, there's a lot of people in college basketball in some form or fashion, whether they be agents or runners, people who work for shoe companies, NBA scouts, people who have a lot of information. But they fill media members in about their information all the time, and it's kind of taken with a grain of salt, or so it's that's an interesting tip, whatever. I think if I find out that it's just another guy, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, he's got to be plugged in. It's got to be more fascinating than just being a guy, sitting in a cold dark bar.
You'd hope so. That's for sure. Big game tonight in the Big 12, Cincinnati against Kansas. Right now, Cincinnati about a 2-point favorite because earlier this week, Bill Self announced that both Kevin McCullough and Hunter Dickinson will both miss the conference tournament. What did you make of that decision? And, it's kind of been a talking point all season long. Kansas really struggles with their depth. What do you expect tonight against Cincinnati?
Yeah, look, I think it's get interesting. I mean, Kansas really does not have the bodies for this, and they don't have the scoring. I mean, McCullough and Dickinson are the guys they look to for offense almost exclusively. So I think it's going to be a real struggle to score. Cincinnati's a team that likes to kind of muck up the game, make it physical, make it grimy, and so that doesn't help Kansas. Look, it's still Kansas City. It's still the Jayhawks in that building. Mm-hmm. They've had a tremendous track record there. I wouldn't expect that necessarily to change, but certainly undermanned, and it wouldn't be shocking if Cincinnati pulled off the upset. Don't think it would put Cincinnati in the tournament, but it would at least push them a little bit closer to the cut line and see if they could maybe beat Baylor and Iowa State and make a run here.
Has anyone already punched a ticket that you think can win a game?
Ooh, that's a good question. Obviously, matchup a huge part of that.
Sure.
I do think Moorhead, if they're given a good matchup, has the potential to do some dangerous things because they're very big, but they're very skilled. I mean, they shoot the ball extremely well. I think they made 17 threes in their semifinal. They have 6'7", 6'8", 6'10" across the front line, I believe. Transfer Riley Minnick comes from an NAIA school, and he's drilling threes and playing off 2 feet. He's just a really dynamic big guy. So look, I think that I like Moorhead. I think James Madison certainly will be very dangerous. coming out of the Sun Belt. 31 wins for a reason, and I think we've had a good mix of upsets, but also still getting 1s and 2 seeds in that have a chance to make the first round.
On Sunday night during the bracket reveal, what do you think? What do your eyes take you to first? What's the most important thing? What do you look at and go, yeah, that really matters?
I think the biggest thing is usually, the path for some of these quote-unquote dark horses, right? I think every year there's a couple of teams that aren't on the one line that everyone has kind of bought into. I think this year it will inevitably be Kentucky, just because Kentucky has, the talent and passes the eye test, if you will. So I think I'm always looking for the path. I'm always looking for which one seed has the trickiest path to the second weekend, right? Those 8-9 games, who could be interesting there. And then obviously, you guys know I'm a mid-major guy at heart. So some of those 12-5, 13-4, 4-13, even the 15-2s, which we've seen a lot of.
And your beloved Wildcats. You look at them.
I'll keep an eye out for the Cats. That's right.
Another kind of mid-major team I've heard a lot of talk about this year, and I was kind of high on them, and I've kind of taken a step back a little bit after watching them more. But Samford, what do you see of this team? They get in the other night by winning their tournament. Is that a team you think can make some noise?
Story.
Or sure, absolutely. Or do you think that might be one that could be an early exit?
Look, I think they play such a unique style, which on one hand could cause some problems because they basically run and press all 40 minutes and really put your point guards under a lot of pressure. I think that's a good thing against certain teams. Against some other teams, it's a really bad thing, right? And in general, I think you don't want to pick upsets when a team really relies on pace because the more possessions, the more time for the talent to even itself out, right? The talent eventually is king, and so in an 80 possession game versus a 65 possession game, you've got substantial more opportunity to make that comeback if you're the power conference team. I do think Bucky McMillan has done a phenomenal job there. I mean, that's a tough job. They win 29 games. They're very athletic. I mean, more talented certainly than you expect the SoCon team to be, and they're big guy at short. So I think there's a chance, matchup dependent. I'd love to see them against a team that maybe struggles with a point guard and see if they can reach some habits.
I know he had phenomenal success at the high school level, but you want a pretty tough job. Be the basketball coach at Mountain Brook High in football crazy Birmingham.
No question. And look, Bucky's got a very unique background. High school coaches never left the state. Some people, keep floating his name for other jobs, but there's people close to Bucky who say he's not going to leave Alabama, right? So if that means Andy Kennedy gets a job and he can take UAB, that's great. If that means Nate Oates gets a job and he can get Alabama, that's great. If that means he's staying at Stanford for a couple of years and waiting things out, that's fine with him too. So
he's not getting Auburn because Stephen Pearl's getting Auburn.
Correct. So look, it's an interesting dynamic. Obviously, guys want to move up in the profession, money talks, but he's a very unique person, and that he seems very comfortable where he's at, and I think that's pretty commendable.
Yeah, we really should applaud it. I mean, he probably thinks he's in heaven. Just with where they're staying at Samford, opposed to coaching in high school.
Yes, look, I mean it's a different world. Obviously, some of the relationships that he has from being at Mountain Brook have really helped him in recruiting early on.
Sure.
I'm not sure that as some of those players move along, it'll be interesting to see how the recruiting thing materializes with them. But I think at the end of the day, he's someone that's just a very charismatic and energizing person, and I think that with that, he can win anywhere. He can sell ice basketball. He'll find a way to win in high school. He'll find a way to win in college. I think he'd find a way to win at the highest level in college.
Yeah, I'm with you. We're talking to Kevin Sweeney. Joins us every single week. Talk college basketball. Go give him a follow at CBB_Central. Last night, a fun one in the West Coast Conference final. St. Mary's gets the better of Gonzaga, 69-60. What do you view both of these teams like going into the NCAA tournament next week?
Yeah, I'm actually out in Vegas, so I was at that game. It was a lot of fun. They just, it's such a great event. Obviously, those fan bases know that they'll be there, and they've been there every year, pretty much. So, cool environment. And look, I think St. Mary's guards are phenomenal. Aiden Mahaney and Augustus Marshallonis. I mean, two very dynamic, smaller guards who can create shots for themselves, create for others. Those are the types of players that make things challenging to mark, especially when you have big athletic bigs like they do. So, look, I think obviously St. Mary's looking for that eventual breakthrough in the Big Dance. They've been, I think they're 25-3 in their last 28 games. They're just a team that knows how to win. As for Gonzaga, I was really high on them coming into last night. I think they've been playing great. Ryan Nembhard's been outstanding, and Graham Ike has been comfortable again. So, look, I think they're dangerous all of a sudden. I do hope that they don't wind up as an 8-9, because I think that, for Gonzaga's sake, I think it'd be tough to draw one seed in the second round. And I know if I'm a one seed, I do not want to see a top 15, 10-top team in the second round.
Right.
With 68 teams, do you think anybody Sunday night really has a case of being robbed?
I think obviously it depends. I think, look, every team that misses the tournament will have things to point to and say, you should have done this differently, right? Like, everyone can say Indiana State is, the darling and whatever, but Indiana State, if they don't lose at home to Illinois State, is in the tournament. Illinois State's a bad team, right? I understand, it's hard to win your conference tournament. Don't lose to Illinois State, you're in, right? New Mexico, if they miss out, they lost to Air Force. No, Air Force is a bad team. You got to win that game, right? So that's the way I view it. Like, at the end of the day, I really do like a lot of these teams, but I think especially if you're at the highest level, you're a high major team, you've got so many opportunities. If you haven't punched your ticket, it's on you.
Yeah. Right, absolutely. Another interesting team playing in their conference championship game right now, which I think very weird time to play a conference championship, but Nichols and McNeese State going on right now. McNeese up by 17. Will Wade, a name that you see kind of all over the place for job openings as a name, just kind of thrown out there early. Could you see, if we start seeing some dominoes fall with coaching hires, that he could be a name that's back at one of these high major jobs next year?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I do think, he just got an extension at McNeese that'll pay him, I think, $700,000. He has good NIL. And so he's set up to win. It's not as though it's a fluke. He'll dominate that league for as long as he's there. So I think there's a good chance he sticks it out for one more year, gets through his NCAA sanctions. He's still under pretty substantial recruiting restrictions. So if he was a high major coach, he wouldn't be able to go out on the road and go to Peach Jam and go to any of the summer events, which is a big deal. So I don't know. I think, the right program comes calling, right? I think a lot of people have floated Florida State if and when Leonard Hamilton retires. Could he be a kind of renegade hire for them? Is there an SEC job that opens? I'm not sure that there is the right one for him, but I do think in the next couple of years we will see Will Wade back at the highest level.
SEC tournament kicks off tonight in Nashville. Only 2 games with the last 4 seeds. What do you expect to see this week in Nashville, and who do you expect to win that one in the SEC tournament?
Oh, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. That top 4 of Alabama, Auburn, Kentucky, and Tennessee is just so explosive offensively across the board. Look, I think Tennessee will be hungry here coming off the Kentucky loss. That was the last thing you wanted if you were going to have to see them in this conference tournament. I think Tennessee wins this thing, but look, we've been waiting all year for Auburn to have that breakthrough moment. They're top 5 in all the metrics. Everybody loves them. They just haven't had those big wins. This is the opportunity. If they do that, they're going to be a very trendy pick in brackets come Sunday night.
Speaking of brackets and number 1 seeds, I think the consensus, 3 out of the 4 of UConn, Purdue, and Houston, but you go out there, you see some people have Tennessee in there, you see some people have North Carolina in there, maybe a few Arizonas, even though they dropped a late one in the conference tournament. Right now, who would be your 4th number 1 seed?
I have Tennessee for now. I will say that, if it's close for me, I will give it to North Carolina, number 1, because the head-to-head results, but also number 2, the committee liked Carolina a lot in the top 16 reveal. They were 5th. A lot of people expected them 6th, maybe 7th. Those types of margins do matter. So if the committee is viewing North Carolina's resume a little bit more positively than maybe the bracketology consensus, if you will, that's a huge deal. And I think, Carolina could wind up there. I will say, I think I mentioned this to Tennessee last week to you guys. Like that number 1 seed is not the most attractive thing to either team, because it means potentially going out west and playing in Los Angeles in the Elite 8 against Arizona, right? That's basically a road game. So I think both teams in some ways would rather be in Dallas against Houston, or even I guess in Tennessee's case maybe UConn in Madison Square Garden. Really interesting.
On Sunday night, Kevin, will the net be alive and kicking, or will it be an afterthought?
I think the net will be a talking point because most people still don't understand the net, and they'll use it more as justification than it actually was in the committee's eyes. Look, I think the net is flawed. No, I don't think anyone really disagrees with that. I think the net is by no means the biggest issue that everyone talks about. The way everyone talks about it, I think things will be decided by well greater detail than just.
Yeah, I'm with you. Net definitely a little flawed. But you mentioned you're in Las Vegas. What does the rest of the week look like for you for conference week?
A lot of basketball and a lot of blackjack.
Yes, good luck on both, especially the latter.
Good combo.
So I'm out at T-Mobile Arena right now watching the Pac-12 tournament. Stepped away from UCLA, Oregon State. I don't know how I'm missing it. So we check in with you guys, and then I'll head over, I think, in about half an hour to go see New Mexico versus Air Force and watch some games for the Lobos.
Great life.
That's a fun week. Well, thank you for stepping away and giving us some time, and we'll do it again next week.
Of course, guys. Talk soon.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin Sweeney out in Vegas covering basketball.
A lot of basketball.
And also
blackjack tables.
Just because he's walking by, you have to, right?
I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, they basically make you refuse, and how could you refuse?
It's what created the city. And we'll ask Bruce Marshall this on Friday. I wonder how big a handle this week. How does this week stack up with like Super Bowl week and even next week?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When there's a lot of people there, it's Chevy truck season at All Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. That's the first exit when you cross into Mississippi on Highway 78. At Kraft Goodman Road, you're there. All the Silverados you can imagine are right there at Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. Come get any new Silverado you want with financing as low as 0.9 for the new Silverados. Your good credit deserves it, and you'll get it at All-Star for Trailblazers. Equinox 1.9 financing, no payments for 90 days. Family love all the new Suburbans, so we all can do more together. Where are we going for Easter and spring break? And better yet, what are we going to be driving? Drive something from All-Star and make the spring and into the summer really, really fun. Military teachers, healthcare workers, first providers, college students all get an extra $500 bonus back in cash. You want something pre-owned? They've got it at All-Star. All the Ram trucks, Jeeps, a Yukon Denali, a Traverse. If they don't have it on the lot, they can get it quickly with all their contacts. Just ask Jeff or Kevin, and they'll find it for you. And Kevin and Jeff, everyone at All-Star, well, they want to wish you a great March Madness, a fun springtime, and a happy Easter to all. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, Bartlett, or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Go to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, let's get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, a legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's GetETHOS.com.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps, fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, 39.85, MSRP 22,320. Sportage R7 24.7640, MSRP 29,635. Telluride RG 49.9963, MSRP 41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Specified finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
Hey, it's my man Jeff Allen bringing sweet deals from Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
Hey, Randy, I've got a 2024 Kia Forte LXS that gets 41 MPG highway, and you can hit the road for just $219 a month.
That's awesome. What else you got?
2024 Kia Sportage LX, $289 a month, both 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing. Or go big in a 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, $429 a month, 36-month lease and $39.99 due at signing.
Plus, get peace of mind with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
We're online 24/7, KiaMountMoriah.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. I'm looking at a crash over here on 240 westbound. It's going to be just past Sam Cooper. Before you get to Walnut Grove, it's got traffic a little bit slow, but of course the heaviest flow of traffic this time of the afternoon's over on the eastbound side. Again, a crash up against the wall on 240 westbound, just past Sam Cooper. Traffic still heavy out here. Certain sections of 240 coming eastbound from Mill Branch out to 385. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, about 30 minutes left in today's show. A lot going on. Obviously, these games in college basketball going on right now. Only a handful of games. Currently, McNeese up big over Nichols. They'll win the Southland, punch their ticket to the tournament. LaSalle up 3 over St. Bonaventure on Brett's favorite channel, USA Network.
True or false? LaSalle's won an NCAA championship in college basketball. True or false?
True.
Very true.
Absolutely
Very
true. Absolutely true.
In the 50s.
So 3-point lead for them. UCLA.
Y'all are good.
Thank you. I mean, we try. We try to match half of your knowledge, Brett. UCLA up 27-20.
You never miss.
Well, 27-20. UCLA up over Oregon State, and Coppin State up 10 over Norfolk State in the quarterfinals of the MEAC
Coppin
tournament.
State, one of my teams, I'm going to say in the 97 tournament.
Really?
Last team I drafted, and you won like by the round. Like they were a 15 seed.
Sure.
I want to say they beat South Carolina even with Eddie Fogler, and he was a good coach. So seed times round, so I got 15 points out of Coppin State.
How about that? Wow. I did not know about Coppin State until Memphis got a transfer from Coppin State during Josh's years, Christian Kessie, and he
got nothing on him.
He didn't play well when he came here.
Didn't work out, huh?
No, but I knew he's coming from Coppin State, put up numbers at Coppin. I was like, all right, how about that? And so I paid attention to Coppin State a little bit after that.
I'm seeing Josh more on panel shows.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
He's really good.
He's really good. You see him a lot on the halftime and after games, between games type deal. I think he's really good. And it's been fun to see him.
I really think he could carve a path to. I'm not wishing anything on Seth Greenberg, but being the guy after Seth Greenberg kind of in that role.
Yeah, I think you're right. Certainly very personable, certainly very energetic about the sport. So I think he's done a really good job, and it's been fun watching him.
College basketball game day Saturday, they will be live and originate from the ACC tournament in D.C.
Huh. Interesting.
Was that just easy for logistics?
I guess probably.
I guess so.
I guess so. Also, you've got 2 Duke guys there,
Right.
and so you're going to have Duke there, hopefully there on
And you're not
Saturday.
the carrier of
Sure,
Big Ten.
Right. So I guess
that factors in.
It absolutely does. But I mean, you could.
How much will it next fall for game day? Will it be SEC only, or will they go?
That's a good question.
Behind
because,
enemy lines.
Brett, we had that discussion the past couple of years about
should they?
Well, and it felt like game day was starting to get back to we're going to the
Best
biggest
game of the
story,
day.
best game, whatever it is.
If it's in Nome, Alaska,
right.
be there.
And that was kind of the big story last year.
That's what I want.
Yeah, and when both game day and Big Noon were both at Colorado, and they were on different sides of the stadium.
At Ohio State and Michigan, they're
that's right.
often both there.
And so it's the big question now that it seems like we've even more drawn this line down the center between
Fox versus
Fox
ESPN.
and ESPN and file in under what conferences you
But
represent.
it feels like Petiti and Sankey are working well together.
It does.
Better than Sankey and Warren worked.
For now.
For now.
That could always change. But it does seem like they're working well together, and that will certainly help. But obviously right now, everything that they are working well on seems to be in the best interest in terms of money for both their conferences as a joint operation. Now it seems like a couple of the other conferences signing off on the new framework for the college football playoff.
ACC and Big 12 presidents voted Wednesday to authorize their commissioners to adopt the new CFP framework. That's a tweet from Ross Dellinger, reporting for who he works for, Yahoo Sports.
Yeah.
Big step in CFP commissioners finalizing a deal on new revenue model, playoff format concepts in meetings the next few days. So sounds like a lot of news is going to come from college football.
Yeah, sounds like it, and kind of I guess a weird time to do it because of all of the college basketball going right now. Kind of the heightened time where everyone is locked into college basketball. But maybe that's the best time to do it when you don't have all the pressure of when are you going to do something, when are you going to do something, when are you going to do something. Nobody's looking at you right now to do something because everyone's kind of locked in for these few weeks on college basketball.
We're going to wait and see how Tiger basketball finishes.
Yeah.
And I sure don't think now the run-up to the spring game for the Tigers will occur, and I think there will be a lot around that. And then some summer relaxation period, both for Buzz and other things.
Yeah.
But it will be the most anticipated Tiger football season
Absolutely.
ever.
Absolutely.
EVER, ever.
No, you're absolutely
It will
right.
be the most anticipated Ole Miss football season ever.
Yep.
So you're going to have two teams in this area that could meet that first weekend and you have the most anticipated seasons ever in the run-up for college football. That's going to be fun.
It's going to be a ton of fun. And
for both, I think stated goal, it's not getting the playoffs or bust, and it's not a complete lost season, but it will be very disappointing for both.
Sure, I think so. And, for the Tigers, what they're bringing back, I mean, how many schools can say that they have a quarterback coming back that has been there for 4 years and has been playing extremely well.
Record setter.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to do this day and age in college football to have a guy stick around that long at the same school, put up those numbers, the weapons they've brought in around him. I think certainly a lot of optimism and Silverfield talked today to the media and kind of spoke on
Embraced
that.
it.
Of it's coming, we're ready for it, we want to go there, and we're recruiting based on that. We're saying we can get there.
But Johnny, you're really close and really fond of Coach Silverfield.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him as a friend, between now and the start of the season, whatever he does, don't mention we want the smoke. No smoke talk.
No. Let's just get to work. Please no smoke.
We don't want the smoke.
Don't you think Coach Hardaway would love to have that back?
100%.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I think Coach Hardaway would want back from this first couple of years, but that's definitely the big one, I think.
Because it's just always been.
It has.
I've done it. we've thrown it in his face.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hard not to.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I hate to say that, just is because, I mean, you come in with that, and I think there was excitement, but I don't think people were sitting here going, oh my gosh, Memphis just hired Penny Hardaway. Get ready for all of the Final Fours that they're going to go to. I don't think anybody was saying that when he got hired, but then he gets there
and he
says it, and he says we want all the smoke. We want to see the best teams. We want to do all this and that, and kind of raises that expectation.
All right, so we want it both ways. We want them to be candid and revealing.
Sure.
And give us something other than the canned quote of, backs against the wall and we've worked real hard and got, ball security and got to tackle well.
Sure.
Then when they go off that, crush them.
Yeah. I mean, it's Brett, coaching is a tricky line you have to walk in a lot of different ways. But that's certainly
big salaries accompanying.
Sure. And that's a good point. That's the reason.
And picked at by people with little salaries.
Very true. But there's a reason they're paid that much. And it's a hard job to do. And I think it's very easy for us, for fans, for other people to, sit in our recliners on a Saturday afternoon and turn on the football game or the basketball game and say, man, how is he doing such a bad job? And, it's very hard. And, you got to walk, especially when it comes to making statements like that, you have to walk this thin line of, I've got to get our fan base excited and engaged in this program, but also I can't say something super outlandish. And, it's very fine line.
I'm sorry, Johnny, go please.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, Brian, you're making a real great point. Like, there's something to be excited when it is coming to this football team because you got a lot of good things going. You got Rock Taylor coming off a 1,000-yard season. Then Seth Hennigan, he had one of the best passing seasons of his career. Yeah. And all that talk that Coach Silverfield is doing and just putting more confidence into coming out to these games and really see the product because Seth is going to his final season of being a Memphis Tiger, and he about to break some more records. So, I can see why he having so much confidence in this team, man.
In an odd way, the stadium renovation,
I
think will help the Tigers next year because nobody can point to scan counts or attendance because we know for 2 full seasons, maybe into a third, that's off the table because of all the construction. Sure. So it won't be, how come for the Troy game there were only 27,000 there? Right. It won't matter. Right. They will be liberated from that.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's, and I certainly am excited about the construction. I'm ready for them to get going on it.
And to be fair, from the Ole Miss front, opening day against. Who was opening day against?
For Ole Miss?
Furman. Opening day against Furman. And
good team.
That's sometimes a tough draw on that weekend, Labor Day, Lake.
Sure.
Dove hunting. Does that mean people really going dove hunting instead of college football? But anyway, okay, a lot of excuses.
Sure.
I guarantee you, first thing, post game, when that stat sheet's handed to him, he's going to look at that attendance number.
Oh, we know how much he looks at that.
And if it's not good, he's going to say something.
Yeah, and Lane Kiffin has not been quiet about that. That is one thing
That's true.
He has made a priority.
And I don't blame him.
Since taking over at Ole Miss is
y'all said y'all wanted this.
In here, and we got to keep them in here.
And just don't say smoke. Whatever you do, don't say smoke.
Say whatever you want to say. Just no smoke talk. That's for sure. Another thing I wanted to get to before we got to a break, breaking news earlier during the show, but we haven't had time to talk about it. Tennessee Titans have signed Calvin Ridley, so he's now off the board and will be in Tennessee.
His best friend of Will Levis.
That's right. I kind of like what they've done this offseason to start off, what the Tennessee Titans have done. I'm still kind of up in the air on the move of, I love TP, glad he got paid, but the Tyjae Spears versus TP thing, I think they're pretty similar in terms of players. But I do like them going out, getting a running back like TP, bringing him in, going out, getting a wide receiver like Calvin Ridley. I think there should be excitement around what the Titans can do in the next couple of years.
Well, it will be, and new coach.
Yeah.
And popular coach out.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be different, but I think certainly should be some excitement about, maybe not this year, but building Will Levis and getting that confidence.
Getting into the new stadium.
That's right. Right, and when maybe you can get all things firing when you're finally in that.
The last time they moved into a new stadium, they timed it pretty well.
That's a very good point. So maybe they can time it well.
A long time
again.
ago now,
That's
though.
True. That's true.
And hard to believe that stadium now, about 25 years in, is out of vogue. Because last summer at an event at SEC Media Days, I told the guy there, and they, the room we had a party in, just a great room, great stadium. You could go out and look at the field. And I said, can we take the old stadium from Nashville and move it to Memphis?
It'd be great.
We take this right now.
Yeah, we'll pick it up and drop it in Memphis, and I'll take it.
Yeah.
But different.
Our Sissy's Log Cabin phone number is 901-360-8255. We love your interaction there, and we love having them as a sponsor of that and with us through a lot of things, through SEC Media Days and Monday, look back at the SEC and at the golf tournament with leaderboard updates, and they're going to be with us for all that. And we thank them so much. They're the official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies and the Memphis Tigers in that great location at 4542 Poplar that we helped open back in December, and then we're back for the real grand opening. It is grand, something like we've never had in Memphis. It is spectacular. Bill Jones and his great team here to stay. Supporter of all the area teams, and they are the Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, wedding bands, engagement rings, necklaces, earrings, 9,000 square feet in Laurelwood with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and much, much more. Just the Rolex section in the new location is something to behold. 6 locations across the Mid-South. Sissy's offers a selection of diamonds, estate jewelry, and fine gifts. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Well, let's get to our final break of the day. When we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
A new era in public safety begins with you. Be the change you want to see. Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo on Saturday, March 30th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We will take applications, perform basic testing, and interview candidates on site. Salary starts at $54,611, increasing to $72,000 after 3 years. Free parking will be located at Poplar Avenue and Front Street. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Yo, Mark, long time no see. You still down at Dyer's?
Man, I'm not down at Dyer's. I'm out at Collierville Historic Town Square.
When'd you move out there?
We've been out there for about 13 years. We've got the shops, the park, we got the train the kids like to play on.
You still cooking those burgers the old-fashioned way?
Man, we're still flattening out those hamburger balls on a slab of marble and skillet frying them the old-fashioned way like they've been doing for 100 years.
Dude, you still have those onion rings.
Man, they're fantastic. Hand-breaded, served up just right.
I loved those milkshakes. Please tell me you're still doing those.
Man, we are hand-dipping those shakes, putting them in the old glass in the shake tin, served the old-fashioned way.
You got any new items out there I need to know about?
We're just doing a lot of gourmet sandwiches. We've got farm-raised catfish straight out of the Delta. We've got some hot tamales from Pasquale's Tamales out of Helena, Arkansas.
Man, are they served in the husk?
What those guys like to say, they're so good, you'll suck the shuck.
Go see my buddy Mark at Dyer's Cafe in Collierville's historic town square.
The thrill and excitement of March Mania is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook is giving new customers a shot to turn $5 into $150 instantly in bonus bets with any college basketball bet. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The code is HERD, H-E-R-D. That's only at DraftKings Sportsbook, and only with the code HERD, H-E-R-D. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/bball for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, firearms and responsible gaming resources.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
If you're a pro and flooring is your game, we'll help you win it. Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. You want decor?
Strike.
You want plumbing?
You're out.
LL Flooring has been helping pros knock it out of the park for over 30 years. Visit one of our 400 nationwide warehouses for one-on-one service, extensive inventory, and exclusive pro pricing.
All right.
Get the pro treatment you deserve. Enroll today, online or in-store. LL Flooring, every step covered.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, high school.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, I learned a couple of things today. Both have to do with college basketball. The first thing I learned that we talked about a lot today, the Tigers know who they're playing tomorrow afternoon. It's Wichita State, who won earlier today over Rice. And Parth Ubadiah, who covers the Tigers for the Daily Memphian, he tweeted this out earlier. Just something to keep an eye on. Colby Rogers for Wichita State has been playing incredibly well lately. Over his last 4 games, he has totaled 105 points and 23 three-pointers. That averages out to 26.3 points per game and 5.8 threes made per game. So something to watch for the Tigers defensively tomorrow. We know how bad they've been against the 3 most all of the season. The other thing I learned, Oklahoma lost earlier today to TCU. So now it's going to get very sweaty for them on the bubble until Sunday. But after the game, Porter Moser wanted to make a statement to the selection committee. He said, quote, "We're going to be at full strength by Saturday or Sunday. We were 18-6 6 when we were at full strength. So trying to put it out there, we weren't healthy today. That's why we lost.
But they don't have a game scheduled for Saturday or Sunday.
Unfortunately.
Right now, their season is over, isn't it?
That's right.
Until bids go out. I didn't learn this, but I know it starts tomorrow, but I learned this about SEC baseball. Conference play begins for a lot of people tomorrow, everyone on Friday. Here's the top 20 in college baseball. Arkansas 1, Omahogs. LSU 2, A&M 4, Tennessee 5, Florida's 8, Vandy's 9th, Bama 14, Auburn 18, and South Carolina 20. That's of 10 weekend SEC series. I wonder if anybody's got to play all 9 of them.
That's a good question.
Ole Miss plays 6 of that 9. State plays 6 of that 9. And they play South Carolina this weekend. I'm going Sunday.
Yeah, that will be a lot of fun. What I could have done without, and Brett, I've been waiting to bring this up ever since I learned it last night after our show. And it makes me so sad to even have to say this. The inaugural new Memphis Showboats quarterback Cole Kelly has been released by the team. Oh, Brett, he was our hero last year. Cole Kelly.
Never was mine.
Oh, man, what he did on a spring football field. Oh, just amazing. Now,
I'll never forgive him for his one SEC win.
Well,
when he never threw the ball further downfield than 10 yards.
Well, Brett, to be fair, he didn't do that much for the Showboats either.
No, he was the big running quarterback, though.
He was.
I could have done without, to all the people kind of cracking on Aaron Rodgers today, and I know on the face of it, it's kind of preposterous that he would be Bobby Kennedy Jr.'s running mate. But again, here are the qualifications to be vice president. I hear people talking about his qualifications. Here they are. You got to get selected by the person that's running.
Sure.
You got to win.
Yeah.
Then you got to be a natural-born citizen of the United States.
Okay.
You got to be 35 years old, and you have to have lived in the United States at least 14 years.
Well, we know he's...
That's it.
Yeah.
He's qualified.
Nowhere in there is law school, trade school, being an engineer, or being a quarterback.
Well, that's a good point. Definitely a weird story, though, nonetheless.
Yes, it indeed is weird.
Didn't think it wasn't what I thought I would see this morning for sure. Where are you beaming tonight?
I'm beaming. I'm headed to FedEx Forum for the Grizzlies against Charlotte tonight. I once saw the Grizzlies against the Charlotte Hornets, Memphis Grizzlies versus Charlotte Hornets in the World Football League.
How about that?
John Hewlett at quarterback for the Grizzlies, Brian Dowling at quarterback for the Charlotte Hornets.
Holy cow. That is incredible, Brett. That might be the fact of the day right there. That is...
I did.
That's beautiful. Wow.
I want to say an August game. It was hot.
I love that. Beam me later tonight, 8:30 on ESPN2. Cincinnati against Kansas. We know Hunter Dickinson, Kevin McCullers both will not play for Kansas. And if they win this, they won't play at all during this conference tournament, which makes it very interesting.
Pickup game Oklahoma.
That's right.
Since they're getting so well.
That's right. What makes it very interesting tonight, Cincinnati, a team that only won 7 games in Big 12 play this season. They are a 2.5-point favorite tonight against the Kansas Jayhawks. So interesting to see how that one plays out later tonight.
It will be. Watch Kansas State must win against Texas tonight. NC State must win against Syracuse. The end is near for Juwan Howard. Can't come soon enough for a lot of Michigan fans. You mentioned Cincinnati against KU, 9 NBA games. Grizz going for 2 in a row at home. A 2-game winning streak. They've only had 3 of those all year.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy to hear.
At home.
Yeah, so good night of college basketball, good night in the NBA as well. 2 of those NBA games on ESPN. Nuggets Heat at 6:30, and then at 9, Lakers and Kings. Also, we'll have the Tigers tomorrow afternoon before we come on the air at 1:30. So hopefully tomorrow when we talk again, we'll be talking about a Tigers win. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy your night. We'll do it again tomorrow afternoon.